5 games left to go in the regular season. There is a guaranteed 6 for both these teams as the Ohio High School Athletic Association laid out the brackets for the postseason and the opening round of regionals on Sunday. That's at least a week away. Most important game on the schedule is the one that's next up. And it may be an out-of-conference matchup. It may be the small school versus the big school. But rest assured, this one promises to be a good one here this evening. Welcome aboard, everybody. You are looking in live at the hangar, the gymnasium at Ayersville High School, as the Pilots will be hosting the Wauseon Indians. We have a rare girl-boy varsity doubleheader this evening, but etiquette says ladies first, so they will. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is now on the air. Pleased to have you along DC TV Sports. Scoop, you take a look at this matchup, and it is somewhat a contradiction of terms. You've got the Indians from Wauseon, larger school, larger conference out of the NWOAL. They are 10-8 overall, 2-2 in conference play, led by first-year head coach Shelly Borton versus the established juggernaut. The Pilots at 16-1 overall, 5-0 in the GMC. Fifth-year coach Tim Nicely making his return, obviously, to Ayersville. You can sit and look at this from a different way and say, what's the point of playing this ball game? The point is you want to sharpen yourself as much as possible before you get set for the postseason. And both teams feel tonight the team across the bench will be able to do that for them.
Yeah, this is really an intriguing matchup, and only that, it's also, I think, a great non-league matchup because you do want to start preparing for the tournament just around the corner. You want to start playing your best basketball. Well, Ayersville's going to be tested. This is a Wauseon team that has a lot of tradition.
Yep.
Now, 10-8 Wauseon team is not the juggernaut they're used to having, but this is the team that knows how to win. This is the team that likes to play physical, and Ayersville will certainly be tested here tonight as they come in, as you mentioned, an impressive 16-1 Ledger, trying to go 17-1 here against the Indians.
And talking with first-year coach, again, Shelly Borton for Wauseon, brand new coach, brand new system. She goes, we put in a new offense, and my first thought is, what's new in today's game? Some sort of wrinkle on the continuity or the circle or what you want to call it, the motion. She goes, no, we put in the flex. And I'm like, the flex? The flex is a good, 20 years old? I remember when the flex was new, and when you had so many sets back in my day, so much more structure to the game, the flex was kind of difficult to pick up. She's going old school. She said, we have a version of it that allows our players to get a feel for each other. They've got a couple of actual set pieces, but she goes, it's been a difficult challenge. To the kids' credit, they have wrapped both arms around it. She goes, this part of the month of February, she goes, they're finally starting to get it.
Well, you know, I love that. And Shelly Borton, even though she's in her first season as head coach, she's no stranger to the Wauseon Indians. You know, she was a key player for Coach Brad Myers back in the day, maybe about 20 years ago. I'm not going to age her, not quite that long ago, but they ran the flex to perfection. They had a lot of wrinkles off it, so you know, this is a offense that certainly, yeah, it's old school, but it also creates so much havoc there as far as defense are constantly switching. They look to get mismatches, and what it really does that I like, it gets your players moving without the basketball so well.
On the flip side, sometimes you just have a team that is built to win, and that is this season's Ayersville Pilots. It's 16-1 overall, 5-0 in the GMC. I asked him nicely after practice last night, I said, you've been coaching now. He goes, I've been married for 40 years. I've been coaching for 36. He goes, my wife has put up with me for a long, long time. But he said, I had to rack my brain when I asked him that question. He goes, I've had some really good teams. He goes, I've had some great teams. But he goes, this team is in a category all by itself. It is elite. Now, they haven't proven anything yet, with the postseason still being 5 games away, but they are built to do something special.
They really are. This is a special team. We've had the privilege of watching them multiple times this year already. But again, they kind of have all the pieces. You know, they've got a lot of length inside. They've got the athletes that can run the floor. And, you know, they really try to exploit teams in the paint, which is what I really love, kind of old school ball. The one thing they, I guess, be honestly, they don't have is that perimeter game. And it's kind of me like the old movie Moneyball. where they change things up. You're not supposed to win in basketball nowadays without living behind that three-point line. Well, Ayersville comes in shooting just under 6 3-point attempts per game. I mean, most teams are close to 20. So they're doing it their way, but I like how Coach Nicely is really trying to maybe highlight, showcase his athletes and putting them in positions they can be successful. And wow, you can do the math on it. They've been really successful this year. And Coach Nicely's right. They've had a lot of good teams under his leadership, but this, I think, is far the best.
You take a look at them in the upper left-hand corner of your screen there, Tim. I don't know if you can pan over. They are antsy. They are waiting for that final buzzer to sound. They are lined up, absolutely. We'll take a look at the group that wants to go 17-1 after tonight. There you see Belle McGuire. There you see their tall rejection artist, Taylor Kraft, 6'1". She's going to play volleyball at Ohio Northern. Take a look at Kirsten Mannon. This is just a special group, and there's Allie Schindler, the team's leading scorer, who was at about 18 points per ball game about a month ago. That's down to now just being about a fraction of a point under 14. And I asked the coaching staff, I said, what's the reasoning for that? And he looked at me and he said two things. He goes, coaches around the conference aren't stupid. They're game planning for Allie Schindler. But he said also, we've tried to make the offense work through multiple players, not just Allie and 4 others standing around. And Allie's fine with that. If it means averaging 4 points less per ball game, but they continue to win, it doesn't bother her one bit. She is a consummate team player.
No question about it, and she's an underrated player. She really is a special talent. She's probably, of all the kids I've been blessed to watch this year, she's at the top of a short list. She does so many things well, and even though her point production's gone downhill, you look at her numbers, she still leads the team in assists. She leads the team in steals, and you hit the nail on the head, Brent. She's going to do what it takes to get the W. She's not about padding stats. We all know she can go off for 20 a game if she really needed to, but she's going to, use herself to the team's advantage. And the fact that a lot of teams are trying to double team her, that just opened up opportunities for other kids, and she's very unselfish. And boy, when you have players like that, you do have something special.
On the flip side for Wauseon at 10-8 overall, 2-2 in the NWAL. They don't have that 15 to 18 point score. Instead, they have tremendous balance. You've got 3 or 4 players that are all between 8 to 10 points per contest. However, they are led by Sophia Roop, just the sophomore. Again, if we can find her, she's just now out towards half court with a long ponytail. She just finished a layup, but she is the go-to player for the Indians.
Well, no question about it. She's 3rd in the Northwest Ohio Athletic League in scoring. She's also 1st in 3-point shooting, not just for the NWAL.
She just took the layup there, Tim, if you want to follow her. Yep, she is understated, but boy, what a tremendous athlete.
Yeah, she really is. Again, she's shooting over 44% from beyond the arc. She's their top free throw shooter, and she really does so many things well at the defensive end too. So, but you're right. This is more a balanced Wauseon team. They don't have that person out there that's going to get them 15 points game in, game out. They do have a lot of depth, and they use it very well.
Had a chance to stop out to an Ayersville practice last night, sit down and talk with Coach Tim Nicely afterwards. We'll get his take on not just tonight, but the season that's behind them, as well as the season that is ahead. Don't you go anywhere. More of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues here on DCTV. It's a girl-boy doubleheader. Etiquette says ladies first, so they're going to go ahead. Out of conference, at least for the ladies, as they welcome Wauseon to the hangar tonight. Coach Nicely joining us right now. Coach, seems like it's been a long time since we talked. It really hasn't been, but what's the old phrase? The days are long, the seasons are short. I remember when we first sat down here way back in early December to do our first one of these. Does it seem like it's been that long ago?
No, it's I tell the kids, once you get to Christmas, after Christmas, the season flies. We had tournament draw last night or yesterday afternoon, Sunday, and playing Wauseon. We used to play Wauseon all the time, and it sort of got away from playing each other. Now we're back this year at least and see what happens. But always a good team. They always going to bring out their A game, and should be a good battle for us.
You led me to it. I will wait until the end of the interview here to talk about your postseason bracket because there's still 5 games left to go in the regular season. You still have another opportunity to add to what's already been a fantastic season. But let me ask you this. It's a question I've asked pretty much every time we've thrown a microphone in front of you. Another day to practice is another day to improve. Where has this team improved the most, in your opinion?
Well, I think we're just getting more people involved and knowing more people that they know they can shoot and score. And I think they're all understanding now how important our man-to-man defense is. We've held some good teams down. Tomorrow will be another one we're going to have to play well. But I think they're all keep getting more confidence in each other as the games go on to score and to keep improving as a group.
You started with defense. You beat me to it. First question right here. Offense makes the highlight reels. I get it. Yeah. But I broke up the calculator earlier this afternoon before I came over to practice. 3rd straight game, 5 of your last 6 that you have held an opponent to under 30 points. As a matter of fact, the most you've allowed this season is 43. That's twice, Pettisville and Macomb. Yeah. Does this team get the credit it deserves for playing at the other end of the court?
Yeah, I don't know. It's you got to want to. I think on defense, I think we've always been a zone team. This summer we started playing man, and I think they bought into that, and I think they're excited about holding teams down. We've held some good teams down to pretty well, but there's some more good teams out there yet that we have to play. So we got to keep improving.
It's one thing to get maybe one player to say, you're my stopper. That's your job. Go in and you've done your job. Don't care what your other stats are. If you hold whoever we're putting you on to under their average, that's what we need. Yeah. How do you get 5 to buy into that mindset?
Well, I think they know what Taylor's ability is, and Allie plays great offense and defense. Mabel's just been our lockdown person. Kendra's been coming same way. She'll give Mabel a break, and she can lock down anybody. And I think Laney, with her long arms, too, it helps a lot. And Kirsten, both of them have long arms that can cause teams trouble. So I think, there's 6 or 7 of us, Ariel coming off a bench. So we got about 7 girls that can get out and play defense, and hopefully we'll keep that up.
You'll need to again tonight against Wauseon. I know Sophia Rupp's name comes up first in the conversation, but she's not an 18 to 20 a night scorer. They've got a lot of balance. What do you need to do this evening? Who else concerns you?
Well, I think she's the main one. We haven't seen him in person. We've seen him on tape tonight. They got a lot of average players, that score like we do. They're 6, 8 point scoring persons on their team like we do. And I think it's just, one of our things that we've done real well this year is come out quickly. And I think we have to do that tomorrow night also.
Tempo, what do you want tonight?
Fast break, get out and run, and take advantage of what they give us. If we can get out and push the ball and get some easy layups, I think that'll be to our benefit toward the end of the game.
To do that, you're most likely going to have to beat their press, and it's a little bit more of a unique press, kind of that diamond or 1-2-1-1. How do you want to attack it?
Just like any press, you get the ball in the middle, it's over. I think we have to see the floor. I think we just can't be visually looking at one girl to beat the press, like Allie or anybody else. It takes all 5 of them to beat the press, and I think we've done pretty well at that. So, we'll see if we see the press tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to handle it.
You mentioned Allie. Obviously, Belle is not afraid to have the ball in her hands.
Yeah.
But more recently, I've been watching Kendra show no fear. And when you run drills, everybody's watching her backside. I mean, she leaves the rest of your team in their wake. Yeah. How much more confident is she now compared to even a month ago?
I think a lot more. She puts a lot of pressure on herself, and I wish she'd back down a little bit on that. But she just she's a perfectionist. She wants to be perfect. And I told her, you're not going to be perfect. You're going to have a couple turnovers. You're going to miss a couple shots. But is what you do after you miss a a wide open shot is what you do next. Maybe penetrate, make the assist, and that's just as good as a basket. So.
As we talk right now, as always, she's the last one here working on her three-point shots.
Yes.
Tremendous work ethic.
Yeah, well, she's installed. I coached her mom, and her mom was the same way, and her dad's, a big weightlifter, and they go to lift weights too, so they know what it is, hard work, and they're gonna put their best effort forward.
So the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Correct.
Good enough. Well, here's hoping that it all comes together again tonight. Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Coach Nicely joining us. We are back with more of our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to the hangar, the home court for the Ayersville Pilots. Brent Balbanot alongside Scoop Miller as we are about 5.5 minutes away from tip-off here this evening. It is the first of a girl-boy varsity doubleheader. Of course, the second half of this should have been played a couple weeks ago. Mother Nature decided to dump really the only bad weekend weather that we've seen so far this season. On that weekend, it's been rescheduled, and the Paulding boys will be coming to town to take on the Pilots in a big GMC matchup. Time now, let's start with your Baker Schindler starting lineups. Let's go ahead and begin first for the visitors. The Wauseon Indians at 10-8 overall, 2-2 in the NWOAL. And they will send the following 5 onto the court here this evening. At point guard, it will be Aslan Coronado. Aslan Coronado is only 5 feet tall, but she is lightning in a hot skillet. She is the fastest player on this Wauseon roster. She is their best ball handler. Had a chance to chat with her a little bit, and Scoop, she gave us the okay to give her a nickname by the end of this game. I said, you got a nickname? She goes, most people call me Azzy. And I'm like, well, Aslan, sure, you can't give yourself a nickname. So we'll come up with one if it's appropriate by the end of this broadcast. At the op guard, it will be Mackenzie Stassa. Stassa, most physical, best, not just best defender, best on-ball defender. She stands in at 5'5" and a junior. She will be your op guard. Johanna Tester will be your swing. Tester stands in at 5'9". She is a junior. She is the best athlete on this roster, and she will draw Allie Schindler at least to begin in their man-to-man defense. Athlete on athlete. At the 4, it will be Marin Leatherman. Leatherman, a 5'9" sophomore forward. She has a 4.0 GPA, and both the coaches, both Shelley Gorton and Linnell Nossinger, said she is by far and away the most improved member of this roster this season. And then, of course, in the middle, it will be Sophia Roop, the 6-foot forward sophomore. She is the team's leading scorer. And I don't want to say she does everything because she's so humble, but at the same time, the offense goes through her. She averages 10 points per ball game. She shoots 40% from the floor. She's dishing out the ball at about 1.2 assists per ball game. She's also pulling down nearly 5 rebounds per contest. I don't want to say as she goes, so goes Wauseon, but that's the way it pretty much has been this season, Scoop.
Well, she's certainly a key component. All area coaches know that. You know, the interesting thing about this Wauseon team, they started all underclassmen, the 3 sophomores and the 2 juniors. And as those guys have gotten experience, this Wauseon team has continued to improve. In fact, they come in winners of 5 of their last 7. So that makes this an even more interesting matchup. As we all know how solid Ayersville's been throughout the season. Their only blemish came to the Kalida Wildcats a couple weeks back. But since that time, they've righted the ship. And they're certainly headed in the right direction with the tournament approaching.
On the flip side, for head coach Tim Nicely and company, and before we go any farther, we want to wish Coach Nicely and his wonderful bride a happy 40th wedding anniversary. It's coming up this Sunday. My understanding is family's going to do something for him, but before we get to basketball, 40 of anything is a very big number, but 40 years of, I'm sure they would both say, wedded bliss, right? 40th wedding anniversary coming up this Sunday. Congratulations to Coach Nicely and his wife.
Yeah, that incredible 40 years together. They must have got married in elementary, that's all I can say.
Oh, always looking for an angle, the man sitting to my right. The starting lineups for the 16-1 Ayersville Pilots as follows. At the point, happy birthday, cutie, Mabel McGuire, the 5'6" senior, best defender on this roster, turns 18 today. You can find number 2 down there in that huddle. Gentlemen, give her a little FaceTime. Mabel McGuire, the starting point guard, but also happy birthday. At off guard, Kirsten Mannon, 5'8", and a senior. Mannon, again, just does everything. One of those situational players where you look down at the end of a game and go, wow, she had that many? She's that kind of player. She averages 7 and pulls down nearly 3 boards per ball game. At the swing, it will be Kendra Waldron. We talked about Aslan Coronado being lightning in a hot skillet. For Ayersville, Kendra Walden has a turbocharger. She leaves everybody in her wake, and she's a one-woman press breaker. Waldron averaging 7.5 points and 2 rebounds per contest. She's just a sophomore at 5'6". Then your front court as follows. The team's leading scorer at just under 14 points per ball game. It is Allie Schindler. Schindler, a 5'10" senior. And in the middle, she holds a block party pretty much every night. She is just intimidating with that long wingspan. Taylor Kraft, 6'1" and a senior. What she does point-wise is good at 7 per game, 12.5 rebounds per contest, and Scoop, she averages nearly 5 blocks per contest.
That's incredible. Some teams don't have that many blocks on the season. She gets that per game. And I think she had even more than that her sophomore year before she sat out last year as a junior due to an injury.
Those are your Baker Schindler starting lineups. As the crowd comes to its feet here. Of course, the obligatory Ohio High School Athletic Association disclaimer with the reader about sportsmanship. As the pep band is now set, everybody rising to their feet. It is time now for the national anthem, courtesy of the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147.
High School Pep Band in the playing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
National anthem in the books.
The officials assigned to this contest have been selected and assigned according
Time to get
to the
after it.
procedures adopted
The officiating
by the
crew
Ohio
tonight,
High School Athletic
Bo
Association
Schimmel,
and the Greater
Chad
Meadows
Schimmel,
Conference.
and Jeff Simmons. Well, in yesterday's practice, the better part of it for Ayersville was spent on breaking the press. Scoop, Wauseon runs a little bit of a unique full court press. It's that diamond press commonly referred to. A lot of people will see it as a 1-2-1-1, but they will get in your jersey. They will hound the inbounder, and Ayersville worked on several different methods of breaking it because they expect to see it for the better part of tonight.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move, and I talked with Coach Nicely, and Wauseon, a team that has athletes, They do have the ability to extend the court. They like to go odd front diamond press a lot of times. But remember, Ayersville's a team that not many teams have really pressed this season. So I think that's going to be important if Wauseon decides to go a little full court, how Ayersville can be attacking that press and trying to get into a press offense where they can force the Indians out of that diamond-type look.
It was a situation where Coach Nicely admitted, he goes, we haven't seen it a lot this year, but we need to be prepared for it. Plus, when you get to this point in time of the season, you never know what the opposition might pull out of their hat. A wrinkle here, something you haven't seen on the scout. You've got to be ready for everything.
Especially with Ayersville having that huge target on their back, undefeated in the GMC, 16-1 overall. You're probably not going to athletically match up with them, so you have to try to find a way to get an edge. And maybe that's an area that some teams may be thinking.
Well, they line up in a tunnel. It's a lighter crowd than what we're used to seeing here in Ayersville tonight. But you fire up Thunderstruck by AC/DC, and it just kind of sets the mood. And this is a throwback when you consider most of these kids weren't even around by the time Angus, McDuff, and the rest of the gang were making it look good in the what was it? It was the London Auditorium, right? The Opera House.
You got it.
All I can say is when I listen to this song, so do my neighbors. Lights are on. Taylor Kraft, the last of the starters to be introduced. Pilots in their home whites with those baby blue lettering and numbers with the black stripe down the jersey tops and shorts. Wauseon in their traveling red uniforms with the white lettering and numerals and the black trim. Getting set for tip-off. Kraft in the center circle for the Pilots. For the Indians, Johanna Tester will do the honors. Whistle sounds. Ball is in the air. Pilots win the tip. We are underway. Wauseon comes out in a man-to-man defense. Immediately they're going to flash Schindler in the low blocks. Kraft with the defense on her hip, going up strong and very quickly draws the first foul.
Oh, excellent possession that time by the Pilots. They got the isolation to Kraft inside. And Sophia Roop there that time gets whistled on the arm. So just 15 seconds in, a pair of free throws coming up. The first one up and in. Kraft comes in shooting just over 50% from the stripe on the season.
She has a low line drive release. Now, I will say this. Coach Nicely said over her last 4 games, it's about 60%. But she's right at her season average here at 1 for 2. Wauseon, again, Coach Barton said, we want to run if it's there. But she goes, we're not going to press it. Trying to do just that, getting the ball in the low blocks and good defense underneath. Schindler comes away with it as she brings it across the timeline.
Tremendous read by Schindler. That time she anticipated that pass and jumped the route, got to it.
Whistle sounds, being aggressive on the drive, Kirsten Mannon. And this foul is going to go against Aslan Coronado, picking up her first team foul, number 2.
This is what the Pilots do. They love to attack the paint, whether it's with the design set or dribble drives.
Little pinball there and tapped around, finally secured by Stassa. Here's an opportunity to run, and just like that, they slow it down. Stassa will back it out. We talked about it during our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. A lot of balance when it comes to the offensive output for this Indians team.
There's that flex offense.
Break down the flex, because I'm sure a lot of people are going, what is this? We're not used to seeing this.
Well, you're going to see a lot of baseline cutters. You're going to basically, the opposite high post is going to screen down. You're going to get some baseline cutters coming off of screens. And again, just very methodical. It's an offense that's continuity. It's going to repeat itself. And what you're trying to do is get teams to switch on you so you can get that matchup you want and then go right to the low post.
You'll see posts pop out in this type of offense too, won't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And again, you got everybody really playing all spots 1 through 5. And that time, a good jump there on the screen by the Pilots, and they come up with a turnover. And now we'll see if they can turn that turnover into points.
On the drive, McGuire, nice dish. Manning was open, but it goes begging off the baseline. Rare opportunity for a fast break. Nice crossover by Coronado, but she'll release the basketball.
Here comes once again. They've got the flex set up, baseline offense.
Roop again standing in at 6'1", but popping out beyond the arc. Again, this is what this type of offense is designed to do. Long three, deadens off the heel of the iron, and a nice job by Manning to track it down in the near corner. Schindler brings the ball up quite a bit. I noticed I may have mentioned McGuire running point. Really, they've got multiple players that can do this. Great high-low. Nice jump shot off the mark, and you just see the body language by Manning as her shoulders slump going, I can't believe that didn't go down.
Well, how about that nice touch pass from Taylor Kraft? The high part of the high-low there, did it just as designed, and Wauseon kind of dodged the bullets. That's one that the Pilots are normally going to cash in on.
This one almost turned over. Kraft, Johnny on the spot. Loose pass there. Again, Manning, Johnny on the spot. 3 on the way, and that one is airmailed by Kendra Waldron. And she wipes her brow. Again, this is not a three-point shooting Pilot ball club. As a matter of fact, the best three-point shooter on the roster is Kirsten Manning at 31%. And then after that, it drops off considerably.
Well, they only take 5 threes a game, which is unheard of this day and age, but there's a reason they're taking 5 a game. They're shooting as a team 12% beyond the arc. But why shoot beyond the arc when you have the length and athletes inside that the Pilots do? And it's really been good math to this point of the season.
They turn defense into offense quite a bit, too. You'll often see steals up around the perimeter that lead to breakaway layups. This is a team that plays tight defense, and just as we say that, Tester drains a 3, the first of the evening, a Premier Bank three-pointer, and Wauseon finally on the board.
Great looking jumper that time by Tester, and certainly that's something that's in her arsenal.
McGuire beyond the arc, comes off of a Kraft screen. Nice roll. Is that a pass? I think it was. And it was a little bit short. Here's a rare fast break opportunity for the Indians. Coronado coast to coast and finishes with the finger roll.
Well, great job by the Indians. You know, when your best offense is your defense, that usually makes good math for your team. And that time they're able to get the steal and the run out for an easy deuce. And now a quick 5-0 run.
And another turnover, this time taken away by Roop.
That's the 3rd turnover of the opening quarter for the Pilots.
Stassa dribbles into the corner now, picks it up. As they flash Tester, she'll pop out. McGuire went for a steal and smacks her hands together, almost.
Tremendous job that time by Aslan Coronado. You know, if she waits for that pass to get there, it's going to end up being a steal and a run out for the Pilots. But she went and met the basketball and got there just in time where she drew the contact. And that'll be the first foul of this contest against Ayersville.
Now, I mentioned Stassa on Schindler, which is going to be a great athlete-on-athlete matchup, but I think we're going to see quick on quick with McGuire on Coronado. This ought to be a fun one tonight. Ball knocked out of bounds. Indians will lob it in. Stassa out to Coronado. And looks like Ayersville switched to his own. Up top, Roop with a long 3 off the mark, and a nice box out and board by Manning.
Tremendous check out by Manning, just as you draw it up in practice.
Schindler getting aggressive, but surrenders the basketball. They're posting her up. Lainey Sheets has checked into the game for Kendra Waldron. She's been a spark plug off the bench. Speaking of spark plugs, look at that! Mabel McGuire blows by everybody with the finger roll.
Tremendous dribble penetration by McGuire, and that ends a drought that lasted just over 5 minutes here. It cuts the lead to 2.
First basket from the floor comes at the 2:36 mark here in the first quarter for the Pilots. Stassa thought about a 3. Well, you can tell patience has been drilled into this Wauseon team. Roop on the drive, stops, kicks it back out to Coronado, working against McGuire. This is quick on quick. What a move! Coronado can't quite bank it in. Schindler wants to run. She's taking off, goes up against everybody and lays it up and in.
Tremendous job by Schindler. You know, she's such a tough guard, especially in the open floor. In that time, the transition defense by Wauseon was not there. And credit Schindler, she took advantage. And now a quick 4-0 run by the Pilots to tie it up.
Almost stolen away. Pinball out and airmailed by Roop. Look who got the board on the weak side, Belle McGuire. And she will happily surrender the basketball to Schindler. 90 seconds left to go in the quarter. Schindler on the drive. Nice dish. Manning with a good look. Can't get the roll. Ball being tapped around, out of bounds, and it will remain with the Pilots. Wholesale substitutions, a couple for the Pilots, a couple for the Indians, as Roop and Tester will catch a breather. And for the Pilots, Belle McGuire and Kirsten Manning will take a seat. Waldron checks back in, as Ariel Brown will see her first action of the evening for Ayersville. Kraft had it poked away. Schindler backs it out. They'll reset. Waldron looking in the high blocks. Kraft was setting a screen. Top of the key. Oh, nice seal by Taylor Kraft, and she is going to draw the foul and head to the free throw line.
Tremendous post up that time by the senior Taylor Kraft. As you mentioned, Brent, she sealed her girl perfectly, created a lot of space, made that an easy entry pass. And now once again, Taylor Kraft going back to the line
50.
where she split a pair the first time. Line drives that one in.
Each one of those is a white knuckle ride. You're just holding your breath. She's got a chance to hit both here. And around the world once, twice, and it falls. It's a new ride at Disneyland. It's called the Taylor Kraft free throw.
Well, she'll take it. 3 out of 4 can win you some ball games. So Ayersville now on a 6-0 run.
The last foul did go against Ella Toole, who's checked in for Wauseon, as Stasa wide open for three. Buries it. Another premier bank three, and Mackenzie Stasa now in the books.
Right now, Wauseon shooting with plenty of confidence beyond that arc. That's her second three ball here in the opening 8 minutes. We've now had 3 lead changes in this opening quarter.
Waldron thought about driving. Stasa, good athlete, good low defensive stance. She cuts off the driving lane. Waldron finds it back again into the corner. Forces a pass into the low blocks, and we've got a whistle. I thought we might have had a foul. We do. And this one will go against Coronado.
Well, Ayersville awfully forced at that time. Really didn't have the patience they needed. Just 17 seconds left in the quarter. They tried to force a pass. The Indians bailed them out. That was the last foul to give for Wauseon.
Yep. Azzy Coronado now with 2 fouls will take a seat on the bench, as that's an unforced turnover. Pass was a little high, but I'll guarantee you Lainey Sheets says she should have had it. So with 13.8 seconds left to go in the first quarter, another substitution as Roop checks back in. Pelock will take a seat. Stasa will bring it quickly up the court with 10 seconds left to go. Right back to her. Nice spin move. And swatted away. First of the night by Taylor Kraft, but she makes it an impressive one.
Not my house, says Kraft, and welcome to the block party. There's a little bit of the reason why she's averaging nearly 5 blocks per contest this season.
You think you got her beat, and you don't. Into the middle of the paint. Baby hook shot goes up, and it teases Leatherman just off the iron. And we have come to the end of the first 8 minutes of play. Back and forth we go. Wauseon 8, Ayersville 7. Quick timeout. You're watching Pilot Girls Basketball on DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a look right into the heart of the Ayersville huddle. Coach Nicely putting his hands together His team broke the scoreboard early with one free throw, then fell behind, came storming back on a 6-0 run, but give up a late three by Mackenzie Stassa. It's low scoring, but it is even scoring as the visiting Indians lead by a point, 8-7. Let's go ahead and get you a Mark Moats-Ford stat summary through the first 8 minutes. Scoring-wise, balance for the Indians, a three-pointer apiece for Tester and Stassa. Azzy Coronado with a layup. On the flip side for the Pilots, Mabel McGuire blew by everybody on a beautiful drive down the right side of the lane. She and Allie Schindler have both baskets from the floor, where Taylor Kraft is 3 of 4 from the charity stripe. Scoop, what do you have for turnovers?
Well, there's a nice entry pass and a great post-up move by Ella Toole, the 5'10 freshman. And Wauseon strikes first in the second quarter. In that opening 8 minutes, turnover-wise, Wauseon did a great job, just 2 turnovers. And meanwhile, Ayersville had 4 turnovers that turned into 2 points. And there's a great answer at the other end.
Inside out, Kraft back out to Mannon, and it's good to see Mannon continue to shoot. Those are eventually going to fall.
Yeah, I think that's important. They need to get some type of perimeter game to make teams play them a little bit more honestly inside. And that time, great inside out movement. And great defense by the Pilots. They get a couple deflections here before it goes out of bounds.
Belle McGuire came and knocked that one out of bounds. She's showing a little juice tonight. I had mentioned that as a nickname for her earlier, and then the last game she went home and watched. She goes, "You can call me Juice." I'm like, "You played a 2-3 zone, you hung out in the corner." She's showing some juice tonight. On the drive, nice dish. Oh, beautiful spin move. That was pretty by Kirsten Mannon.
It really was. It started with that nice steal to defensive end, but certainly give Kirsten Mannon a lot of credit. Drew the double team, made the nice diagonal pass across the lane. Good looking assist.
Stassa dribbles free throw line extended, kicks it back out. They get it right back to her. She's got some physicality to her game. Good ball reversal, near corner, open look for 3, halfway down, and Leatherman has it spit out, but the offensive putback is good. Ella Toole now with 2 baskets here in the second quarter.
Great positioning by the freshman on the backside. Did everything right there, and I like how she got the rebound, kept it high, put it right back up off the glass and in.
They ran Schindler baseline. She's cut off. Good defense. Back up top. McGuire feeling it. This one dead off the heel of the iron. Boy, look at Stassa on the drive. Eyes in the back of her head. Nice dish. Ball blocked away. Kraft with another block on the evening. Stassa continues to attack. They look a little overloaded on the near side here, and they're going to spread the floor out. Roop. That one, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe slipped out of her hand a bit.
Yeah, I think you were hearing footsteps down there as well.
She might have. Open. Sheets for 3. Air mails it, but a nice job by Mannon on the weak side. Lost it. McGuire, great hustle, and knocks it out of bounds off of Roop. That is a great hustle play by Belle McGuire. That could have easily been allowed to just go out of bounds and you get back and play defense. Instead, she hustles and knocks it out of bounds off the opposition.
Yeah, tremendous job by McGuire, and also tremendous job by Kirsten Mannon to anticipate that rebound on the backside. That's a rebound Wauseon should have secured and kept the Pilots to 1 and done, but now Ayersville get an extra opportunity here.
Oh, that is a dangerous lob pass down low. That's great athleticism by Mannon. Great job to crash, and Stassa just rips it away from Kraft, and they're going to call a jump ball. From her knees, Kraft. Again, a hustle play that maybe doesn't make the highlight reel, but Scoop, if she doesn't make that play, Wauseon's got a fast break opportunity with your big center on her knees at the other end of the court.
Yeah, that's huge. You know, those are the things that the coaches really love, you know, those little intangibles there. Again, just a hustle play that Wauseon should be really bringing the ball up the floor right now. Instead, Ayersville will get a third opportunity here, trying to retake the lead.
Waldron releases the basketball. Schindler at the top of the key, working against Tester. Kraft posting up. She's got the defense on her hip. The pass was a little low. Tries to get rid of it, and Stassa is just everywhere. Bounce pass up the court to Tester. Back to her. Stassa. Catch and shoot. And a nice job by Tester. Long shot, long board. She'll get an open look again. This one just a bit short, and they'll get yet another offensive board. Coronado drives but releases the basketball. Tempo's picked up a little bit here, about midway through the second quarter. Roop with a long distance 3, nothing doing. Waldron Everybody will try and catch their breath a little bit here.
Well, Wauseon returned the favor there. They had some hustle plays right there that allowed them to get some second and third shots, but they come up empty.
Nice job by Schindler to post up. Great feed, great pass. Waldron on the drive. Boy, the passing for Ayersville, actually both teams, has been excellent. As that one almost banked in, Mannon followed her shot. Waldron dives. Man, you'd think that this was the opening round of the playoffs. Scoop, both these teams getting after it.
Yeah, I love it, and that's why I think this game is so important for both these teams. You know, there's really a lot of pride on the line. These two have not played in over 4 seasons, and but again, this is a quality matchup. Ayersville, as we mentioned before the game, is going to be tested with the physicality and athletes that Wauseon brings to the table.
Coronado releases the basketball. Nice drive. Elevating from 8 feet out, but Tester can't find the range. Oh my goodness, showing off the arm. Bell McGuire. Nice trailer from Kraft, and one pass too many. I thought that might have been a little too unselfish by Kraft.
Yeah, maybe that's a pass they didn't have to make, but how about that baseball pass that time from McGuire? I think baseball coach Alan Magg may be taking a look at the film on that one.
I believe she told me she does play softball. Lead still remains 1. Stasa, nice drive, but can't finish at the rim. Battle for the ball. Boy, Kraft and Toole getting after each other. And it will be Wauseon basketball. Stasa will inbound on the baseline.
Really impressed with the freshman Ella Toole for Wauseon, giving a big spark off the bench.
Oh, great anticipation by Mannon as she steps in front of the pass. Another turnover. Quick outlet. Waldron thought about a 3, instead wants to put it on the floor. McGuire. They'll swing it left side. Back out. Schindler on the drive. Explodes. Little finger roll. Can't get it. One and done as another strong board by Toole. And here comes Coronado. What a stutter step. Even quicker hands by Schindler. Anything but dunk it. And she puts it down.
Wow, what a tremendous play that time by Allie Schindler. Just when Wauseon was trying to convert off that turnover, go downhill to the rack, her quick hands was able to turn that play around. That's the 4th point from the defense here by the Pilots in this second quarter.
Toole with the long baseline jumper, nothing doing out of bounds. Scoop, what did I tell you though? They don't shoot a lot of threes. They don't have to. That play by Schindler is the bread and butter for this Ayersville team this year. Defense into offense.
Yeah, no question about it, and that's always a key for Ayersville's success. You know, they need to get points in their defense. They've done that nicely here in this second quarter.
Toole, nice post up, but I think Kraft maybe got in her head a little bit. Shot off the mark, rare fast break opportunity. Laney Sheet stopped a little early. Oh my goodness, Schindler can't believe she missed that. Still a nice job though by Brown. Ball tipped out of bounds, and it's getting a little helter-skelter right now.
It is, but I like the pace right now for Ayersville. This is the pace they need to get into. They need to try to maybe turn this into track meet a little bit. And that time they had a tremendous look. They just didn't finish.
I think Tim Nicely realizes his team needs a breather. They are really sucking wind right now. Wauseon doing the same. 2:23 left to go in the half. Low-scoring ball game. Pilots by 1. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back to the hangar. Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller. 2:23 left to go in the first half. Ayersville with the ball and a 1-point lead, 13-12. Trying to force it down low, and Kraft couldn't quite come up with a handle on it. Here's Sophia Roop. Dangerous pass. That was a tough angle, and it's through the fingertips of Tester.
Yeah, that was one of those tough passes that maybe you're ill-advised. You know, that would have taken the perfect timing, catch, everything. But I love the defense that time at the other end by Wauseon. They did a great job of taking away the lane, bodying up, trying to reroute the dribble penetration. They came up with their fifth steal tonight after the 7th Ayersville turnover.
Crab pops out, top of the key, one dribble. That's a dangerous pass down low to Waldron. Trying to use her strength, but it's deflected out of bounds off of Stasa.
Wauseon really doing a nice job of collapsing in the paint. They realize that that's where Ayersville needs to get the bulk of their points, and they're doing a great job of anticipating and running a double down anytime they get a low post touch.
We're flirting with 5. Skip pass across the court. Brown will keep a handle on it. Kraft. Stasa comes out on Waldron. I thought Waldron might drive. She had a little bit of daylight. Tough pass back out into the corner. Waldron tracks it down. 90 seconds left to go in the first half.
And Brent's been amazing. Not a foul on either team here in this second quarter where we've gone over 6.5 minutes of action.
Clean ball game. Up top, man, and thought about it. They're daring her to. Brown will say, I'll take it, off the heel of the iron. Tester tracks it down. Chance to take the lead this trip down the court for the Indians. Stasa picked up by Waldron. And I thought for a second a zone, but it looks like a sagging man-to-man. Roop with a rare opportunity. Long 3, no good. Mannon had it stripped away. Stasa pops back out. She's got one to her credit. Can't find this one, and this time Waldron says it's mine. And she's stripped from behind by Roop. Johnny on the spot on the weak side, nothing doing. No holds barred in the middle of the lane, and we finally have a whistle. It's actually a 30-second timeout called by Coach Nicely. Man, they are getting after it. We'll take a 30-second timeout at First Insurance Group timeout. 39 seconds left to go in the first half. We'll be back to Ayersville right after this on DCTV Sports. 39 and 9/10 seconds left to go in the first half. Ayersville with a 1-point lead and possession. Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller saying welcome back to the hangar. And we'll see if the Pilots decide to take the air out of the basketball. It looks like they might, although they are running some offense. Kraft in the high blocks. They can't find her. On the drive. Boy, that's a strong move by Kendra Waldron. And her first basket of the evening.
Yeah, great take by Waldron. Was able to get the half step. Did a great job going the rack. And here's a good answer by Wauseon at the other end.
Kraft got one. Kraft got two. Who picked up the foul? McGuire's down there as well. It looks like Belle McGuire going to be the guilty party here. And if that is, that's her second. However, it will send Wauseon to the stripe. Ella Toole with 4 points here in the second quarter. We'll try and pick up a few more. Toole, a 40% free throw shooter. Drains her first. Kendra Waldron will check out. Belle McGuire will do likewise with 6 seconds left to go in the half. Second is on the way. It's long. Ball tapped around. Surrendered. Here comes Sheets. 2 seconds. 1 second. Deflected. That'll be the end of the half. Pilots trailed by 1 at the end of the first quarter. They lead by 2 at the half. Both clubs head to their respective locker rooms. Ayersville 15, Wauseon 13. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. Back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back at the hangar, Ayersville High School Gymnasium. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Time for your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Battle of attrition. Very defensively oriented, very physical. First 16 minutes worth of play. Wauseon led 8-7 at the end of the first quarter. Pilots have fought back to take a 2-point lead into the locker room, 15-13. Let's go ahead and get you your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. I've got points. Scoop has turnovers. You keeping track of points off turnovers too?
Yes.
Oh, listen to the professionalism here, ladies and gentlemen. Leading all scorers. And how about this? Off the bench, Ella Toole for Wauseon. Again, Toole, more than a role player, but she averages just 4 points per ball game. She averages 5 boards per contest. She's got 5 at the half to lead all scorers. Matter of fact, nobody else for Wauseon has more than 1 basket from the floor. Johanna Tester and Mackenzie Stassa each with a 3. And Aslan Coronado, who got in foul trouble early, had to sit for the better part of that first half, but showed why she is the fastest player on this roster. Blew by everybody for a layup. That rounds out your scoring for the Indians. On the flip side, all 5 starters for the Pilots are in the books, led by Kirsten Manning. 2 baskets from the floor. She's got 4 points. 3 of 4 from the free throw line for Taylor Kraft. And then a deuce apiece. Check that. I'm going to make a quick change because Allie Schindler got a basket in the first quarter and 1 in the second. So she has 4 as well. Then a deuce for Kendra Waldron and Mabel McGuire. Scoop, what have you got for turnovers and points that aren't maybe necessarily standard?
Well, in the first half, Wauseon turned it over 6 times. Ayersville was able to convert 4 points off those 6 turnovers. On the flip side, Ayersville turned it over 10 times, but Wauseon was only able to cash in for 2 points off of those 10 turnovers. So that could play big. Ayersville's got to start cleaning up a little bit with the basketball. And certainly Wauseon wants to try to find a way to get some points in their defense.
I was going to say, Ayersville's living a little dangerously. Now, part of that, though, is that's their style. So 10 is a little high, but at the same time, if you can get that, sure, it looks great. But are you living on borrowed time? If you turn 20 in, you got to figure Wauseon will start to convert at least a few.
Yeah, I think you're right. They are kind of playing with fire, but Tim Nice would be first to admit that this is a team that's not going to have games where they turn it over less than 10 times. The fact that they try to push the envelope, they try to get everybody involved in transition, you're certainly going to have a few more turnovers. You just want to avoid those live ball turnovers that end up being points at the other end. And actually, for the first half, they more or less did that.
I'm looking down here, and nobody has truly jumped out on the paper. Again, 5 points by Ella Toole off the bench for Wauseon. Nobody with more than a couple baskets for the Pilots. Now, this is the way the Pilots play, though. They aren't an offensive juggernaut, but what they've done in 5 of their last 6 ball games, matter of fact, 3 straight, is hold their opponent to under 30 points. They win with defense. Right now, has the tempo, has the style of play truly favored one team or the other, or do we have a push right now?
Yeah, well, right now, I think both teams are certainly happy with the way things stand because of the effort they saw from their girls. I really think Wauseon has to be exceptionally pleased the fact that Ayersville just not really got on track offensively. They have so many girls that are capable of going downhill, beating you inside, but yet Wauseon did an excellent job of really kind of staying in there. You know, the largest lead for Wauseon came early at 5-1. Ayersville's largest lead was at 15-12. So there's been very little separation. And, I think the longer this game goes, where it's a small differential, I think that favors the Indians. Anytime you're coming on the road, you're trying to pull a big upset, you just want to try to get deep in that fourth quarter where maybe the collar might get a little bit tight.
Ayersville's got to feel good that they have held starting center and leading scorer for Wauseon, Sophia Roop, to a goose egg. At the same time, if you're in that Wauseon locker room, your starter and leading scorer is scoreless, and you're only down by 2. Is this kind of a wash a push in your opinion?
Well, it's funny you say that, Brent, because when you said there's really nothing that jumps out on the stat sheet, to me, Sophia Roop not scoring. That jumped out on the stat sheet at me right away because things tend to even out. So I think Shelley Borton has to think the same thing as you said. Hey, we're only down a basket. and our first-team NWOL player and also our leading scorer has not scored a point yet. So if she can get on track, that might be pretty good math for Wauseon.
We'll wait and see as the Pilots are out of their locker room ready for a somewhat extended shoot-around. No sign of the Indians. What we're going to do is take a quick timeout. We're back with more of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back at the hangar, we are about a minute and 20 seconds away from resuming play. Second half, Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Thanking you for joining us this evening on DCTV. Like and subscribe. We've got all our games live on YouTube. We're going to be syncing them up in the very near future on DCTV Live. And of course, we archive all of our games as well. So if there's anything you miss, all you got to do is go on to YouTube. Even if you don't know it off the top of your head, just put in DCTV Sports. You got your pick of any of the games we have broadcast so far this season. This one, well, if the second half is even half as intense as the first 16 minutes, it's going to be a nip and tuck ball game as the Pilots leading the visiting Indians of Wauseon 15-13. Anticipating the same starting five to begin the second half that began the game for both teams. For the Pilots, that would be McGuire, Mannon, Waldron, Schindler, and Kraft. For the Indians, Coronado, she has 2 fouls, along with Stassa, Tester, Leatherman, and Roop. And Scoop, both teams' guards, best defenders, McGuire and Coronado, both have 2 fouls. Maybe something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, no question about it. The first one to pick up 3, certainly going to be at a disadvantage. But wow, it's been such a fun matchup. These teams have gotten after it. I have to believe both trainers at halftime were probably busy with ice, with all the bumps and bruises out there. I think this ought to be an excellent second half. We'll see which defense can kind of prevail here as Ayersville gets the initial possession.
They've got it to start the second half. Moving from the opposite end on your screen here, right to left. Waldron, low bounce pass. Right back to Schindler on a give and go. Power move, Allie Schindler. My guess is Coach Nicely said, we're going to set you up. We want you to be more aggressive. She certainly was to open up the third quarter.
Tremendous basket cut that time by Schindler on a give and go.
Wow.
Here's a turnover.
Right to Kraft. Here comes Waldron, and was she fouled from behind, or did she double dribble?
Double dribble.
Yep.
So both teams exchange turnovers.
I'm not sure what Stassa thought she saw there. That pass went right to Taylor Kraft.
Yeah, I think Kraft was more surprised than anyone else. It just came right in her living room. She quickly tried to convert it, get the ball ahead.
Stassa with a tough move, but it's cut off. Waldron, nice recovery. Roop still looking for her first points. Oh, look at that spin move by Coronado. That ball might have been partially blocked. Quick outlet, finish the fun. Back to Mabel McGuire. I thought for sure that was going to be 1, 2, or 3, but nope, Mabel McGuire finishes it off with her second basket of the night.
Well, that's a great halftime adjustment. You can see that Ayersville's going to try to push in transition as Wauseon typically sends
another turnover. Here comes Schindler, finishes, no, with the left hand, it goes begging off the left side. Mabel McGuire, though, sticking her nose in. Johnny on the spot, Manning, and one coming.
Well, right now, Ayersville's got a lot of giddy up in that step. Wauseon looks a step slow, and this is going to be points from the defense as Ayersville's able to kind of convert off the turnover, and Shelly Barton's seen it enough. She's going to burn a timeout.
Roop with her second foul. The three-point play when we come back for Kirsten Manning. But to open up the second half, it is all Ayersville on a 6-0, possibly 7-0 run. We'll wait and see when we come back on DCTV Sports. A good look at the pilot huddle as Ayersville has come out on a 6-0 run to start the second half. If Kirsten Manning can drain the free throw to complete the three-point play, it will be a 7-0 run.
Now, honestly, this is kind of what I expected to see from Ayersville, Brent, the fact that they love to get out and transition. And think about it, the first half, in the first 8 minutes, just 7 points. Second 8 minutes, just 8 points. Here in a minute 23, they've got 7 points. So they're really playing with that sense of urgency. I love it. And right now, a danger zone for Wauseon. They have to have an answer, and they need it now.
Stassa thought about a three, but Waldron got out on her. Roop still looking for her first points. Drives, cut off by Schindler. Well, the defense has just been expressive. Here we go again. Belle McGuire with the steal, and she'll have to earn them from the free throw line as Stassa fouls her.
Now that's the third turnover here. We've not even gone 2 minutes here for Wauseon. And off of each turnover, Ayersville immediately got out in transition. This time they draw the contact. And so now a chance to score 2 more points from the defense from the charity stripe.
McGuire, a 49% free throw shooter, and shrugs her shoulders as she misses her first. Is that her third or her fourth steal tonight?
Well, it's at least 3.
She's minimum been 3.
All over the floor.
She averages 2 a game, but
you know, it's one thing if you turn over, you throw it into the third row. It's another thing when it's a live ball turnover and it's quickly converted.
Second in and out. It's out of bounds off of Wauseon.
And credit Allie Schindler that time. She made that extra effort, tried to get around the box out, and Wauseon ends up losing it. So right now this run can continue.
Whoops, Waldron was thinking about catching and shooting, and it went off her noggin. Hopefully she's okay. Schindler knocked down in the high blocks by Tester. It is getting even more physical.
Yeah, that foul took place for about 4 or 5 seconds, and finally Schindler ended up getting knocked over. The third foul already here in less than 2 minutes against the Indians.
McGuire will lob it in. Schindler will back it out. Manning pops out in the near corner. Roop, long arms on her. Up top. Oh, nice seal by Kraft, and it was a great feed by McGuire, but Taylor just can't quite finish it.
Excellent look, tremendous find from the perimeter. Wauseon dodges the bullet.
Score remains 22-13. Well, Waldron really tight on Stassa. Here's Coronado. She's best on the dribble. McGuire not giving her much opportunity. Toole releases. Stassa into a triple team. Wauseon, well, their offense is patient. Oh, that's a great screen, but a great switch. Manning picks up Coronado. Back and forth we go. Coronado thought she was going to have a driving lane, and she didn't.
Tremendous job hedging that ball screen.
There's Stassa with a tough move.
Wow, big time move there. And that ends a huge run there by Ayersville. 7-0 here to start out things in this third quarter.
At the 5-minute mark, they went almost 3 minutes before picking up their first points of the half. Manning, Kraft, back up top. Waldron with a pump fake on the drive. Tough move. Kraft will try and track it down, and I'm not sure that went off of, but it goes right to Kraft. Nice give and go. Schindler up and under. Stasa is so good at help side defense, and she just rips the ball away. Coronado wide open. Can McGuire catch her? Yes, it doesn't matter! And McGuire has just picked up her third foul. Aslan Coronado lightning in a hot skillet.
Well, how about Mackenzie Stasa starting out with her defense? An excellent job coming up with the steal. Had the presence to put it on the deck so she doesn't get whistled for the travel getting off the floor. And now points from the defense for Wauseon. That's one way to kind of end a drought. And now with this free throw, they can make it a 4-point game, and they do.
57% free throw shooter. She completes the three-point play, and all of a sudden, the lead trimmed to 4. We have yet to see Wauseon lay the press on tonight. This is somewhat surprising. Ayersville practiced a ton last night in expectation of it, but the Indians have yet to pull it out. Coronado working on Laney Sheets, who's checked in, with Belle McGuire now sitting with 3 fouls. Posting up, Kraft drop steps into the paint. She just can't buy one tonight. She's getting good looks, Scoop.
Oh, no question about it. Both teams, I think, have had excellent looks. But, again, with the physicality, you're not going to shoot lights out here tonight.
Boy, Schindler knocked it away. Tester Johnny on the spot. Count it, and she's fouled.
Wow, that's a sweet move right there by Tester. I love how she was able to use her body to protect the basketball, but she did a great job of selling the shot, a little head fake, a shot fake, got the defender off the ground, and then she drew the contact. Now she's going for the N1.
67% free throw shooter, goes begging off the left side. Kraft comes down with a good two-handed board. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point ball game. Ayersville needs a good possession here.
Well, both teams have been on 7-0 runs here in this third quarter. We're just 4.5 minutes in.
Waldron on the drive. Coronado right in her grill. No bench points yet this evening for the Pilots. 5 for Wauseon. Lob pass down low to Schindler. Got a little deep behind the backboard.
And credit Tester. That physicality is the reason she got a little deep behind the backboard. There's a long 2. It's going to rim out. Great job by the Pilots once again as Schindler holds it.
Schindler, it's a 3-on-2. Is she going to take it? She will. Nice dish at the end, and Sheets finishes the fun.
Oh, that's pretty. That's their game in transition. Credit Schindler. Great dribble penetration, drew the defender. So unselfish, another nice assist. That ends a 7-0 Wauseon run.
24-20, nice job, Roop. Getting just a little cold, and look at Schindler, not to be denied. And now she'll slow it down.
Schindler had no business coming down with that rebound. Just another hustle play and an athletic play. She's got the strength to take it away. And now Ayersville trying to go on another run here.
Boy, both clubs have spent a lot of energy to this point in time of the ball game. Waldron cut off. Nice feed. Kraft triple teamed. Nice feed down low. That's the equivalent of cutting your meat for you at dinner. And Kirsten Manning with her 5th point of the quarter. Coronado on the drive. Swatted away. It's 2-on-2. Great feed. Waldron finishes with the right hand.
Oh, there's that transition game that's so lethal. And a great answer here by the Pilots after Wauseon went on that 7-0 run. They have an answer of their own. They're now on a 6-0 run.
Ayersville out in a zone here, waiting to see the ball drop below the free throw line. They get it down low. Leatherman, tough move, rips through a triple team and finishes with 2 off the square.
No, that wasn't Leatherman. That looked like LeBron there with that extra step there, but a big-time move by the sophomore Leatherman. That's a huge basket for Wauseon, big time.
Lead cut to 6. Oh, tough pass. Going for the steal. Schindler knows what to do. She left it short. Follows her own shot. Puts it up. No good. Coming up on a minute left to go. Here comes Coronado. And did she palm the basketball? That was great defense by Laney Sheets because Coronado got kind of caught in no man's land. It looked like she was thinking about driving, maybe popping, And Lainey Sheets got in her head.
She really did. And that was tremendous team defense, transition defense by the Pilots. They had 3 girls down the floor quickly and were able to kind of force that turnover. That's the 4th turnover of the 3rd quarter against Wauseon.
Waldron almost lost it. Stasa coming right up in her grill. Kraft, great pass down low. Sheets the lefty, buries the 7-footer.
Well, they're getting great looks. They're getting a good ball movement. That time they reversed it, looked inside, a tough shot.
What a drive. Coronado can't finish high, but on the weak side, nifty job, and Ella Toole now with 7 off the bench for the Indians.
A great job by Coronado to break down that defense.
Boy, Kraft just laid Coronado out on a screen at half court. They'll feed it down low. Kraft off her fingertips. Nice job, and great job by Kirsten Mannon. She has set up weak side time and time again tonight, and this time it's going to send her to the free throw line.
Wauseon right now a little indecisive in how they're going to defend Taylor Kraft inside. You know, they started out playing behind her, but Kraft, with her strength, her ability to seal you, can make you pay, and now they're trying to front with a thrown over the top, and that forces the backside defender to come over the help, and there's no help sliding down there for Wauseon. So right now, Ayersville really has done a great job offensively here in this 3rd quarter, as they put up more points already than they did the entire first
Look
half.
at where Mannon stands on the line. She's a foot off the free throw line. She drains both. She's got 11 on the evening. 8-point advantage. Roop still yet to get on track tonight. Stasa backing Mannon down in the lane, tries to kick it out, and Sheets is there. Ill-advised outlet pass, stolen away, the long arms by Roop. Stasa for 3. Roop crashes, offensive putback, no good. Buzzer sounds. Tremendous 3rd quarter. Ayersville took a 3-point lead into the locker room at the half. They extended to 8 through 3. Finally put up on the scoreboard clock. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. 4th quarter, when we come back to the hangar, you're watching DCTV Sports. Buzzer sounds, final 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock as we welcome you back to the hangar. Ayersville High School Gymnasium, first of 2 tonight. Brent Balvin alongside Scoop Miller, girl-boy doubleheader. Girls leading Wauseon right now 32-24. The boys, with a rescheduled snow out from a couple weeks ago, will entertain Paulding. We'll get you a Mark Moats Ford stat summary at the next stoppage of play. As nice steal by Schindler right out of the fingertips of Coronado, and she finishes with a breakaway layup. Give her now 6 on the evening.
Well, you love it. Points for the defense once again by the Pilots.
Check that, give her 8. I've got that early basket in the 1st quarter that's way down at the end of my book. 10-point lead. Stasa, nice ball reversal. Roop finally with the defense on her hip. Has she had a post touch tonight, Scoop? I can't think of one.
She's kicked it out the 2 times she's really gotten it inside because she's seen the pressure and the double team coming.
We got a foul. Let's take your pick. And uh-oh, it's Mabel McGuire, and the birthday girl has just picked up her 4th. And not a happy look on her face as she will head back to the bench. She will be having to watch for more than just spot minutes.
You know, I think Ayersville has about 6 fouls on the night, and she owns 4 of them.
Pass deflected, and I'm not sure what Roop saw there. Maybe a defender stepped in front of her, but out of bounds. How many does that make now for Wauseon?
No, that's 13 turnovers, 7 here in the 2nd half
Wow.
already.
Schindler brings it across the timeline. Mannon leading all scorers tonight with 11. Long skip pass. Waldron thought about a three. Schindler posting up. Nice move into the paint. Right back to Mannon. Man, she just has great court sense. Tremendous speed by Schindler.
It was tremendous set that time by Ayersville. They got the skip pass. They got the reversal. They looked inside. They got the extra pass. Great unselfish play by the Pilots. They now own their largest lead at 12 points.
Tester looking down low. They've overloaded. Coronado kicks it into a second gear. Nice job by Mannon to cut her off. And they've overloaded, a little congestion. They've got to rebalance the floor here. Coronado with a heat check off the heel of the iron, and Schindler actually outmuscles Kraft for the rebound.
I love how they're really contested everything. They're going after every rebound. It's one thing to play solid defense, but you have to finish the possession by going to glass. Ayersville's done that and some here in the second half.
Far corner Sheets, nice feed. Waldron kicks it right back out. Sheets, the lefty delivers. It's a bit short. Nice board by Mannon, though, and they'll reset their offense. Nice feed Kraft, right back out up top. Pass was a little off. Sheets off a Mannon's screen. They switch. Roop, all 6'1" of her right in her grill. Check that out, though. Waldron, Johnny on the spot. Nice job by Lainey Sheets. She is throwing everything up, and she'll head to the free throw line.
And that's pure hustle right now we're seeing from the Pilots. They had 2 offensive rebounds on that possession alone. And now they'll have a chance to stretch this lead with 2 coming up from the charity stripe for Schindler.
Schindler by far and away the best free throw shooter on the roster at 72%, and she splits the nylon here.
Well, she's such a great shooter. She shoots over 57% from the floor. As you mentioned, her free throw has just been lights out.
Trying for her 10th point here. That's just a sweet stroke. Just a sweet stroke. Well, she's got 10, second Pilot in double figures along with Mannon. And it's a 14-point Ayersville lead. Coronado working against Sheets. Sagging man-to-man, although the top half is on the ball in this defense. They run the first cutter through Leatherman. They miss her. Nice crossover by Coronado, explodes at 5 foot. She goes up against 6'1" Taylor Kraft. Kraft will say, go to the free throw line if you want the points.
I tell you what, she's fun to watch.
She is.
She's got one gear out there, and it's locked in high gear overdrive. That time did a great job of just playing downhill and forcing a play there. So now she'll get 2 from the charity stripe to try to end this Wauseon drought.
She's a 57% free throw shooter. She was 1 for 1 tonight, but she misses her first. And if you're Wauseon down by 14, you just absolutely have to score here. You got the ball, at the free throw line. The clock is stopped. Got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you do, and they've gone nearly 3 minutes here without a point in this fourth quarter, so their defense is going to have to really step up, make some plays, maybe spark their offense. Still plenty of time, but boy, this is a team you don't want to try to come from behind against.
Stasa and Pelock are in. Mannon catches a well-deserved breather, and Coronado can't convert on either free throw. So your Pilot 5 right now are Brown, Sheets, Schindler with the ball, Waldron, and Kraft. As they run Sheets through on a cutter, can't find her. Pilots, well, I was about to say going to be patient, but then Sheets jacks up a long-range jumper. And a nice job by Schindler to strip her from behind, but she was stepping out of bounds. It will be Indian basketball.
That's a great hustle play by Schindler.
Not quite halfway through the fourth quarter, but Wauseon's got to come up with something and something quickly. Still scoreless here in the fourth quarter.
Now they've gone to a kind of a shuffle offense, trying to come off curl screens at the top.
Well, nice job to switch that time by Schindler and get right in Coronado's jersey. Again, that time it was Brown. Coronado will jack up a 3, and Kraft makes it 1 and done. Long outlet pass up the court. Waldron, quick move on Coronado. Count it, and 1 coming.
Well, that's their best offense right there. They were able to hold Wauseon to 1 and done, and when you control the defensive glass, it allows you to get out and transition, and that time executed to a T. And now Kendra Waldron, the sophomore, looking for the and one. The Pilots up 16. Make it 17 with that free throw right there.
And that is Coronado's third foul. And I'm looking down. She came over to the bench, and Shelly Borton just said, stay out there. That was just pure strength by Waldron against exceptional quickness by Coronado. That time strength won out.
And right now, Ayersville on a 17-2 run, going back near the halfway part of quarter 3.
Trying to feed it down low, another turnover. Sheets with the steal, and Roop, frustration, fouling to prevent the breakaway. It is a 10-0 run here in the fourth quarter alone for Ayersville as Kraft, flush red, will catch a breather. Tell you what, if you open up the box score tomorrow and see this score, you're going to think this was a runaway, and that's the farthest thing from the truth. But the Pilots have just exploded here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they really have. You remember through the opening half, we had 6 different lead changes.
Look at Waldron on the drive. And Roop finally secures it.
But that's kind of been the difference there, that rebound, too. We had all those lead changes. We had a few ties. But Ayersville has really put things together here with this solid second half. And there they force yet another Wauseon turnover as the turnovers continue to mount for the Indians.
Well, you see Roop pressing there. Again, she averages almost 11 a ball game. She has nothing right now, and we didn't expect that. We talked about it at the half. We figured they would run some offense around her, but she has just been frustrated all night long.
Well, she's been in the shadows of really Allie Schindler's been lockdown defender on her, but even if she can get around Schindler,
you got Kraft.
You still have Taylor Kraft waiting for you, so that's going to make it tough, and that's where her game's at.
Well, they try and feed her there. It's deflected, and Stasa hadn't come back inbounds yet, and that's a turnover.
Now, excellent call by veteran official Bo Schimmel that time, as she had not reestablished herself inbounds, so yet another turnover for the Indians.
Schindler across the timeline. She's got 10 tonight. Brown looking as Mannon is checked back into the ball game. Sheets puts it on the floor. Nice screen by Waldron. Schindler sizing up Toole. She'll bring it back out to the top of the key. Under 3 minutes now left to go in the contest. Sheets at the free throw line. Mannon. A lot more patience now by the Pilots. Nice give and go. Brown had it, swatted away, and I wasn't sure if it went out of bounds off her knee. Last touch by Wauseon. Wow, normally you'd think, okay, here's the appetizer. The main course is still to come, but the boys are going to have to do a little bit of work to match the level of intensity and just plain high level of ball we're seeing here. As Sheets, a little strong with the left hand. Stasa decides to bring it up the court herself. 2.5 left to go in the ball game. And the Indians still yet to score in the fourth quarter. Roop, low blocks, drop step in the paint. It's been that kind of night for Wauseon Center.
And right there, Schindler to pick up the rebound.
Wow, great look. Great release by Waldron. Wow.
Waldron now up to 9 points on the night, but again, credit Schindler, a strong rebound, a heady outlet pass, another assist.
All of a sudden, a 19-point Pilot lead. We've got a foul. I think Sheets came down on Coronado.
And remember, this game was 22-20 not that long ago. But Ayersville trying to keep that perfect record here at the hangar intact. And right now, just 2 minutes and some change away from doing just that.
Belle McGuire is checked back in. Waldron looks like her night is done. Nope, she just got a quick drink, and she's right back at the scorer's table. Roop, can she score from distance? There it is with 1:53 left to go in the game. Roop gets her first points of any kind tonight.
Yeah, remember, she's the leading three-point shooter in the six-county area, but she has just not had a lot of open looks, and credit Ayersville defense for that.
Nice move down low, and Mannon looks like her legs might not quite be the same. Hustling back, here comes Roop. And a nice job by Schindler overplaying on the wing to knock it out of bounds, and it will be Pilot basketball. Substitutions, Addison Zartman will check in. Manning will catch a breather. Also now checking in, Ella Kilgallen. And Schindler getting a round of applause as well.
And Wauseon with 11 turnovers here in the second half. Meanwhile, Ayersville's turned it over just 3 times here in the second half. So the Pilots have really cleaned things up.
Yep.
You combine that with their rebounding, boy, they're going to continue to be a load here with those type of numbers.
Just a dominant, that's an understatement, fourth quarter by Ayersville. McGuire was saying, I'll set the screen. Backing it out, Waldron. A minute left to go, and they're still running their offense. And McGuire drives, surrenders her body. She'll head to the free throw line. Comes up smiling.
That's such an intelligent play right there by Mabel McGuire. You know, very patient, but she noticed she had a chance to go one-on-one. She made that quick first step, and Wauseon once again forced a foul. So Ayersville's put so much stress on this Indian defense, and I think they've really kind of wore them out. We talked about at halftime, Brent, about how these two just got after it that first 16 minutes. And Ayersville still seems to have a lot in the tank. Meanwhile, the Indians have kind of been going on fumes here in this fourth quarter.
Waldron will get a round of applause as she checks out. McGuire, a 49% free throw shooter, now with 5 on the night. Birthday girl looking for 6. It's pure. 45-27. Here comes Coronado. Sheets picking her up. And we're going to have one more substitution before this game is over with, quite possibly at least. Checking to say, can't quite get the number of who's sitting at the scorer's table. It's stolen away by Kilgallen. That's a hefty play. And with 34 seconds left, McGuire crosses over. Does she want more? Almost. Halfway down, it's spit out, and we got a foul. And who's it on? Is it on Zartman? It is. Addison Zartman picks up her first.
Well, that was a great take by McGuire. I love how she continues to attack, play downhill, and a lot of contact that we've seen all night. Nice to see everybody get back up. And now Wauseon brings it up.
20 seconds left to go in the ball game. They feed it down low. Still working hard, though. Ella Toole will try and add to her team-leading 7 points. Zartman has just picked up her second.
Yeah, you think about this Wauseon team with the 5'10" freshman Ella Toole and of course Sophia Root, the 6-foot sophomore. I mean, this is the team that's good this year, but you kind of look down the road.
This is a future squad.
Yeah, this is the team I think it's only going to continue to get better. And a team that certainly has a strong tradition for girls basketball.
Second is up and good, 9 points. As a matter of fact, no seniors on this starting varsity roster, Scoop, as Coronado with the steal. She's playing hard, wraps around. The pass was a little low. Tester picks it up, fades away from 10. You know what? They're going to play until the final buzzer. And that's a testament to their coaching and their attitude.
Yeah, that says a lot about the kids when you're out there. The game is over as far as who's going to win, but they're still competing out there at each and every possession. And certainly a reflection of her coach. That's certainly how Shelley played back in the day for head coach Brad Meyer.
Tester's first is off the mark. The foul charged to Allison Eldridge for Ayersville. Tester, a good free throw shooter at 67%, but she's long on both. And look at this, lightning and hot skillet picks it up, and she'll take a 3, why not? Off the mark. Ball kicked out into the backcourt. Final second will tick off the clock, and there is your ball game. On the strength of an enormous fourth quarter, Ayersville blows open an 8-point game. The final 45-29. With it, they pick up their 17th win of the season. This is a non-conference game. Of course, they remain 5-0 in the GMC. The Indians, a lot of fight, just not quite enough tonight as they fall to 10-9 overall. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, it will be your Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching Pilot girls basketball on DCTV. Well, we welcome you back to the hangar. We're going to make a quick post game out of this because there is a girl-boy doubleheader here this evening. The boys about 14 minutes away from taking on Paulding in a game that was snowed out a couple weeks ago. Our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show is now underway. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. And who is Coach nicely bringing up? He is bringing up Kirsten Mannon. And turn around, I thought it was Ariel Brown. It is, oh, and he's bringing up Allie Schindler. Of course. Let's run down a very quick look at your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. Point-wise, 2 players in double figures for the Pilots. Mannon with 13, Schindler with 10. 9 points for Kendra Waldron, just 1 free throw away from making it 3 in double figures. Mabel McGuire, who averages almost 4, a little over 4, finishes with 6. Taylor Kraft with 3. How many blocks did she have, or did you keep that tonight?
I only had her for 3 blocks, which is well below her season average, but she changed a lot of shots out there, to say the least.
Well, who wants to start it? How about the leading scorer here this evening? I'm taking a look at where our camera angle is. Who's got us? Taylor? Actually, Tim does. So wave at Tim. He's the guy that you want to talk to. All right. Well, what did you have for breakfast this evening, and is Coach going to tell you to keep having it? Tremendous ball game. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You just did a great job tonight of seemingly knowing where to be on the court at the right time. You hit some shots yourself, but you had your teammates setting you up. Did you kind of have a feel for that this evening, or did it just come to you?
Well, there was some, and my shots just weren't falling, but all the coaches just said, keep shooting, you know, they'll fall eventually, and then I just got on the rhythm and just was able to keep going.
You think it was worth a cookie?
Oh, yeah.
That's an inside joke, folks. We will talk about the cookie off the air. Scoop, go ahead.
Well, Kirsten, I really loved your points there, especially in the second half. You know, Wauseon went back and forth there. You guys changed a lot of punches. What was the big difference in the second half for you girls to really turn things around?
I think we really came out as a team and were able to know where everybody was and where the open person was, and we knew that we had to come out strong, because if we didn't, it might not have ended out the way that it did.
And it did. You had no choice, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Brown, you want to take that headset? Yes, she does. She says it's been, 4 or 5 games? Time for me to get a post-game interview. Talk a little bit about the adjustments at the half, because it was very tight. It was very physical. What did Coach say he wanted you to do in that second half?
I mean, we brought the energy the second half. I think Allie, Kirsten, they really showed up in the third quarter. I think our third quarter is definitely our game. And, yeah, we brought the energy.
I'm looking down here, and this is 5 of your last 6? Now 6 of your last 7 games, you have held the opponent to under 30 points. I know offense makes the highlight reels at 6 and 11. Does this team get enough credit for as good a defense as it plays?
I would say yes. I know we say at practice it's called Ayersville defense, and I'd say we brought the Ayersville defense the second half.
Well, I want to kind of jump on that because Sophia Rook came in, one of the top players in NWAL, and she was held scoreless until I think past the midway part of that fourth quarter. What was your game plan on her tonight, and how was Coach Nicely trying to slow her down, which is a lot easier said than done?
Yeah, I'd say we put Allie on her, D her up. Allie had that covered. I know she's a good player. She's a good player, but yeah, put Allie on her and we got her.
That's pretty simple. We could coach. Allie,
That's
just
great
go do
coaching.
everything. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Speaking of Allie, let's just go ahead and just see, they want you out for track. It's just like a relay. Now the baton has been handed off to you. Again, 10 points here this evening, but you also had some pretty hefty defensive assignments. Which was tougher tonight?
I would probably have to say the defense part, because Sophia Rupp, obviously a nice player, and Coach kept telling me that I can't give as much help defense because I have to stay on her, and I have a tendency to just sag in a little bit and try to help. So I knew I just had to stay tight on her, and I think overall as a team we just did a great job defensively.
How physical was this game tonight?
Yeah, it was pretty physical. Wauseon's definitely one of the most physical teams we played this year, and I think Coach kept telling us to grab rebounds with 2 hands. So, yeah, it was pretty physical.
Allie, I want to commend you on your defense because you were locked in there with Sophia, and there was rarely a time where your teammates really had to come over. You did such a great job of really kind of being physical on her. But the thing I really liked about your performance, you had so many rebounds, then you quickly got the ball up in transition. How important it is for you guys to get in a transition game where you guys can really utilize your depth?
Yeah, I think when we start to get those transition points, that's when we really start playing as a team. And as we saw in the second half, that's what we need to do to jumpstart our offense. So I think it's definitely just important for us to constantly be looking up the floor, and a lot of times Kendra likes to run, and so I think when we just look for the transition, that gets our offense going.
Boy, you did tonight. Congratulations.
Thank
Big
you.
win, keeping it going. Now 17-1. All of you, congratulations.
Tremendous
Well
job,
done.
ladies.
Thank you.
And Coach Nicely, 40-year anniversary. We gave you your props before tip-off, but we'll say it again here this evening. You joke with me during the pregame. I said the days are long.
Go down and get some pizza.
Go get some pizza. Oh,
Mabel's-
you come up at halftime.
Mabel's birthday today, so.
They're here at halftime, okay? Fantastic. Yeah, the birthday girl showed a little offensive energy. Couple free throws or she would have been pushing 10 points. Got in a little bit of foul trouble, but my goodness, what a team effort this evening.
Well, we told them at halftime that was probably our worst 2 quarters we played all year, and it was. And we had to just pick it up a notch, and we knew they were tough. I mean, Wauseon, anytime you play NWOL schools are good. And they played hard, and we sort of adjusted a little bit at halftime. We got the ball where we needed to go. Allie sort of got into a rhythm.
Oh, man, did she
we got some big baskets from Kirsten Mannon and Laney and Kendra, so I think that propelled us offensively, and then that propelled our defense to just play harder.
Yeah, Coach, it looked like the physicality of Wauseon kind of threw you guys out of your game a little bit. It forced 10 turnovers in that first half. You guys did such a great job taking care of the basketball in the second half. What was it that really flipped the switch and changed for you guys?
Well, we told them at halftime. Well, we told them yesterday in practice, these guys are going to be physical, so be ready. And I think we told them just to relax on offense. We got to run some better things. Got to get Allie down on that block a little bit. Taylor was doing okay, but Allie's Allie inside. She can do a lot of things. And then I think once Kirsten got a couple offensive boards, and then Laney, once we got up by 8-10 points, then I think it clicked a little bit better, and then they knew, our defense was going to stop them. So.
And boy, did they ever. Again, you could open up the box score and tomorrow and say this was a blowout. Farthest thing from it. It was a single-digit lead going into the fourth quarter, but you got to love finishing up strong.
Yeah. Well, that's what we told the kids. No matter what the score is, you go in that fourth quarter, anybody can beat you if you come out and, we proved it. We did that tonight. We were up by 8-9 points, and boom, next thing you know, we're only up by 2 or 4. And then we got that lead again, and then we just kept it then. So,
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Win number 17.
Yep, we'll take it.
And well-deserved, especially for coaches' wives. 40 years, and he said he's been coaching 36 of them. Yep. So Is that what's kept the marriage so strong, or the fact that you've been on the road for half that time?
Well, my wife, we both kid around like that. We always say that's why we get along. We're not home very often, but yeah, it works, and we're both happy with that, and we made it. And I get to coach my son. That's always nice, and that makes it special.
And he said just their third vacation in 40 years is coming up this summer. Is that right?
We're hoping to do something this spring, maybe in March. Do something
after the state tournament. Right?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but we might go down and watch. But I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll see.
All right, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with more the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show right after this on DCTV Sports. This is kind of a crossover. It is both the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show and the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, because we got the boys coming up here in a little under 5 minutes. But we got one last piece of unfinished business to take care of for the girls contest. Time for our Steichman Automotive Group player of the game. Scoop, this is next to impossible. You have 3, probably even 4 Ayersville players, all deserving. But how can you deny the senior Allie Schindler? Kirsten Mannon is going to get her chance over the next 2 more years, heck, maybe even next week. But Allie Schindler, second on this team tonight in scoring. Mannon had 13, Schindler with 10. But what Schindler did defensively and having to run the point when Bella McGuire picked up foul trouble, I think really kind of set her over the edge.
Yeah, she was just phenomenal tonight, and as were her teammates, being an all-around team
Everybody.
effort. But Schindler, if you'd have told me that Sophia Rupp, one of the top players in NWL, is going to be held scoreless, the first 28 minutes, I'd have laughed at you, because she's just too good a player. But Allie Schindler not only shut her down, but she also was a force on the boards. She led the team in assists. She really was that spark plug for them coming out of the break at halftime. So she was just lights out, and they needed that, as Wauseon had these girls really what they wanted there deep in that third quarter, but Ayersville and Schindler just prevailed there down the stretch.
So congratulations, Allie Schindler. I know it was a team win, and she would be the first to say it, but we're picking you tonight as the Steichman Automotive Group player of the game. Quick timeout. When we come back, we're hitting the reset button. The Baker Schindler Company starting lineups for the boys as they take on Paulding. You're watching DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to the hangar. Brent Balbanon alongside Scoop Miller. We have reset, a very quick reset, on what is now the Ayersville Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Time for your Baker Schindler Company starting lineups for tonight's second half of our doubleheader, as the Ayersville boys welcome the Paulding Panthers. Ayersville on a 4-game losing streak, Each one of those contests have been by one, check that, 3 of the 4 have been by single digits, one possession, and they are looking to get back on the winning track. On the flip side, Paulding has been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but at 9-6, they're looking to finish up strong. They've just come off a 55-53 win against Ottoville.
Yeah, both teams really playing well. You know, Paulding's won 3 of her last 4. They only lost that 4-point loss to Fairview at the reservation. Meanwhile, you kind of allude to it, Brent. Pilots have lost 4 in a row, but by a combined 14 points. They're just a few possessions away from really being on a 5-game winning streak.
Here are your Baker-Schindler starting lineups. First, for the host Pilots, there is a big change in the starting lineup. We were unable to get you the pregame interview with Coach Logan Wolfram, so we'll break it for you. Ben Amoroso is your starting point guard. Again, Amoroso standing in at 5'9" and a senior. Jeremiah Peak, the freshman, has broken into the starting lineup. He did that just prior to the New Year's. Again, Jeremiah Peak has had to pick up some slack due to a huge injury. Again, he is averaging 7 and 3 per ball game. The big injury is to Garrett Flory. Flory, one of the team's leading scorers. He was injured earlier this year with a broken hand. He sprained his ankle last Saturday. There goes 9 points and 4 rebounds. He will be watching from the bench. So in place, it will be Lucas Fishpaw, a 5'9" senior. Fishpaw, again, averaging nearly 2 points per ball game. And then the big 1-2 punch of the front court, Carter Michael. Carter Michael standing in at 6'1". Again, Michael is averaging 10 points and 4 boards per contest. Brady Clark, the other big banger down low, averaging 9 and 5. What we're going to do is step out for just a quick second. The playing of the national anthem is brought to you by Defiance Elks Club number 147. National anthem in the books. Our thanks to the Defiance Elks, Lodge number 147, for helping their sponsorship of it. For the Panthers, let's go ahead and break down the starting lineup. At the point, it will be Casey Agler. Agler, a 5'11" senior. He is one of that 1-2 punch in the backcourt. He averages 13 points per ball game, 2.5 assists per contest. He's also a 70% free throw shooter. Alongside him is the underclassman, Blake Roanhouse. Roanhouse, just a sophomore, 6 foot. He averages 11.5 points and nearly 5 boards, 3 assists per ball game. Titus Mance will be your swing. Mance, a 5'9" senior. Mance averaging 2 points per contest. Kane Jones is basically the sleeper of this group. Logan Wolfram told me we're counting on him not to be aggressive this evening. He could be a double-digit average scorer if he chose to be. Jones, a 6-foot junior, has a smooth game, a sweet jump shot, and he just has great basketball IQ. Jones on the season is averaging 8.5 points, 3 boards, and nearly 2 assists per ball game. Down low, there is a change. Grady Borton, the sophomore. Maybe the game's just moved a little fast for him. He's still kind of getting a feel for it as an underclassman. Grayson Harder at 6'3" and a junior, also very physical. And again, showing the production of what a two-headed monster at the post can be. He has earned a start here this evening. He started last game as well. Again, he stands in at 6'3". Harder averages 5.5 and 4.5 per contest. Those are your Baker Schindler starting lineups.
Yeah, this is going to be a great battle. You know, Paulding's a team that hangs their hat at the defensive end. They're going to get into you for 32 minutes. How Ayersville can handle that pressure here tonight will go a long way in determining the winner to this key GMC contest.
As usual, the lights are off. A couple of spots working their way around the hangar. A lot of those young kids, the junior high, the grade schoolers, form the tunnel on the far side of the gym. The starters come out, they high-five everybody, toss the T-shirts into the crowd. Jeremiah Peak, number 3, just a freshman. Tremendous upside. Ben Amoroso scored 10 points a couple of weeks ago. He has it in him. He just doesn't look for his shot. And when I asked Coach Logan Wolfram in the pregame that we wish you could have heard, he said, we never yell at anybody for shooting too much. Carter Michael. We'll wait and see if his fingers on his left hand are still buddy taped. He sprained his finger Saturday night going for a rebound. It was bothering him, and yet, as I look at that left hand, his ringer and his pinky finger are buddy taped. Now, he tells me that doesn't bother him. Of course, his dominant hand is his right hand, but I watched him last night in practice. Every now and then, those things get bent back the wrong way, whether it's coming off a screen or a rebound that you can't quite palm, but he is a tough kid, and he's going to play through it. Ready for the opening tip-off, brought to you by F&M Bank.
Remember last year, Paulding defeated Ayersville in Paulding at the Jungle, 56-50. That ended a 6-game losing streak to the Pilots and also secured a GMC championship for Paulding, their first since the 1965 season.
Ball knocked out of bounds. Kind of anticlimactic. Ayersville will have it to start the contest. Logan Wolfram, Dave Retcher, co-head coaches. They've been sharing that title for the last 5 seasons. Logan Stoller, Paulding legend, in his first year at the helm. Clark on the drive, and ironically, Kane Jones slipped, fell down, and that's a cheap foul.
Yeah, it almost looked like a body tackle out there on the gridiron, but that time I think Jones just lost his footing, gets tangled up. A quick foul, not even 10 seconds in.
Well, again, with Garrett Flory out, 9 points and 4 rebounds, and he's a tremendous perimeter shooter. The two bigs, Clark right there taking it right to Jones, wraps around, tries the reverse layup, but taps it back out. Nothing doing as it's picked up by Agler. But Coach Wolfram said, you guys are going to have to come out and face the basket more tonight. With our loss of one of our best perimeter players, he goes, it's too much of a challenge to feed you in the post. You've got to spread it out a bit more. As Jones takes a 3 off the mark, Peak wants to run. This is a rare fast break opportunity. Stops. This is off to Michael down low. Up top, look at this. Fishpaw can't find the range. Here's Rittenhouse, the young sophomore. Young Paulding roster. On the drive, Kane Jones. That is exactly what Coach Logan Wolfram said we hope he doesn't do tonight.
So much for Jones not being aggressive. Again, he's a guy I like to call instant offense because he can light the scoreboard up at any time. And he's been on the rise here last couple of weeks where he really has picked up the slack. And there you see a little bit of the reason why.
Amoroso playing a little catch with Fishpaw in the far corner. Michael didn't really set a screen. Amoroso into a triple team. Nice job by Clark. Fishpaw will try from the corner. Still nothing doing. Amoroso, great pump fake, goes up strong, and we're tied.
Amoroso, that's a big-time play right there. He goes in there with the big boys, pulls down the rebound, does a great head and shoulders fake, takes it up off the glass. A great answer and out of that, too.
Jones sizing up Clark. Nice job to cut him off. On the drive, Harder. Nothing doing. Clark makes it one and done. Michael posting up down low. Boy, that's going to be a battle of two bigs getting after each other. And Amoroso will slow it down.
Look at that aggressive man-to-man defense
Yes.
by Paulding. Something they hang their hats on. Something they'd love to do for 32 minutes.
Little hand checking by Agler. Oh, right to the chest. Michael goes up strong, and Harder fouls him. That goes with what Coach Wolfram was talking about, though. You see the big. Normally, he'd be setting up on the block. Tonight, they've worked on the offense to get their bigs to come out a little bit more.
Yeah, that time Harder made a defensive no-no. He went for the steal, came up empty. Then he found himself a step behind. And now Carter Michael goes to the strike. First one's going to rattle out.
Carter Michael on the season, 66% free throw shooter.
He also leads the Pilots in minutes played and points per game. And there he connects on the back end to put the Pilots on top.
Early 3-2 lead. GMC battle. Pilot Center at 2-3, Panthers at 2-2, and another nifty move.
Yeah, great inside out. That time Agler broke down the Pilot defense, drew the double team, kicked it out to the sophomore Roanhouse.
Uh-oh, look out, Agler all over Amoroso, and he's going to pick up a foul. Or is it just out of bounds off of him? I thought I saw the official point at him, but nope. They'll just say out of bounds.
That's going to go off Titus Mance. That time Mance might have been better served to leave that basketball go. I'm not sure if they would have called that over and back, but the 10 count would have still been in effect.
And prior to the inbounds, a little bit of extracurricular activity between Mans and Clark. And Mans just nodding yes. Clark just pointing at him and now keeping him at arm's length a little bit. But Clark is a load. Very thick young man. Speaking of thick young men, Michael, beautiful spin move. Was that ball partially blocked?
We got a piece.
Scrum in the middle of the lane, and if this is any indication of what we can see tonight, they're going to need to mop the hardwood up multiple times.
Well, this certainly is. You know, this is the Paulding team that has been in the weight room. A lot of these guys play on the gridiron as well. And right now, neither team backing down. There's been some terrific one-on-one matchups here. Points will be at a premium here tonight.
They popped Harder out up top. Roanhouse surrenders the basketball to Jones. Curious if Jones tries to take Clark. Maybe he has a step or two on him. Agler picks up his dribble.
Well, Agler's the one guy that can really take you off the dribble. There's Agler with the ball.
Oh, look at that elevation on that jumper. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, there's a reason he was all GMC a year ago. And right there he shows a little bit of reason why.
4-point Paulding lead. Amoroso surrenders the basketball. There's the feed down low to Michael. Nice rip through, and he finishes with two off the square.
Well, right there is where the Pilots really need to make their hay tonight. They need to attack inside. An excellent possession.
Long three by Borton, nothing doing. Peak battling for the board. Both guys hooked up. Nobody out of bounds. Ball stays inbounds. Clark, Jones, there's a quartet down there. And what's the call?
Jump ball. I think it's safe to say that's not going to be the last jump ball we see here tonight. These guys are getting after every 50-50 ball. We've seen a lot of physicality early here. This will not be an easy game to officiate.
For the most part, they've let them play through the early going, but we'll wait and see. Ayersville trying to tie it up, possibly take the lead with a three. Substitution is checked in for the Pilots and Dylan Hinkle. Peak trying to back down Roanhouse. Clark in between the circles, off a Michael screen. They switch. Is that going to be a charge? Yes, it is.
Oh, big time play there by Kane Jones. Known for his offense. That time he comes in, great help defense, takes the charge. And right now, Paulding is winning those one-on-one perimeter battles. They're not having a double team on the ball. They're locked down on the perimeter, not allowing the Pilots to get dribble penetration deep.
Jones was aggressive early. Sets a screen, nothing doing on the second cutter. They get it back to him. Roanhouse wide open, leaves it short. One and done. Look at this. Big man running. Michael decides to give it up. Peek in the far corner. They're posting Michael up. Amoroso. Nice dribble penetration into the paint, and he'll head to the line. Take your pick. 3 maroon jerseys rotated over.
Well, it should not have gone, at least on Grayson Harder. He had all basketball at time, but they are going to get Harder, maybe with the body. But great job by Amoroso that time to draw the crowd, initiate that contact, and there he gets the shooter's touch on the first of 2.
Amoroso on the season, a 66% free throw shooter. He's got another one coming. And got them both. Ties our game up at 7. Buzz of sounds. Amoroso will come out. Fishpaw will check back in. So the Pilots' starting point guard will watch for at least an abbreviated amount of time.
Yeah, a nice little 4-0 run here by Ayersville to knot things up for the second time tonight.
Crossover, kicking it out. Mans with a long 3. Roanhouse with a weak side board. Here comes Jones. Oh, the ball dribbled off of his knee. Johnny on the spot is Roanhouse. And they'll back it out and reset.
And the Pilots really doing a great job with some solid man-to-man pressure here.
Agler, nifty crossover and a whistle sounds.
I think that's going to be just the second Pilot foul here in this opening quarter, and that's going to come against
Fishpaw.
Lucas Fishpaw, the senior. They still have a couple fouls to give, so you still need to stay off the aggressive here. Final 2:14.
Look who's checked in, the big sophomore, Grady Barton. I thought Agler was going to take a step back 3. Jones into Michael, that's a charge. And all of a sudden, Kane Jones has picked up his second foul.
That's a tremendous play by Carter Michael, who's really known for his offense. That's just a cerebral play on the defensive side of thing, and that's big, as that may force Logan Stoller to make some decisions here. He's got a couple guys with 2 fouls here in the opening 6 minutes.
He's going to leave him on the court. Under 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Peak. Try to wrap around pass. Decides the better of it. Hinkle. Bounce pass as they post Clark up. He's going at Jones with 2 fouls. Up top, Peak open for 3. Got it! A Premier Bank 3-pointer.
Great set that time by Ayersville, and credit Lucas Fishpaw. He made the extra pass there, allowed them to catch and shoot in rhythm. And a Premier Bank 3.
Nice move by Grady Barton, the big man putting it on the floor with 1 power dribble. Pulls the Panthers to within 1.
He's a guy I've seen go for a double-double already this year, so he's a guy that can really get it done at both ends, and they would love to see him get untracked early here tonight.
Coming up on a minute left to go in the quarter. Fishpaw playing a little catch with Clark. They'll reverse it. Hinkle, nice pump fake, surrenders the basketball. The ball moving pretty well around the perimeter in the early going here. Peak on the drive. The freshman muscles it up. Taps it back out. Hinkle stops and pops in the middle of the paint. And if that's Jones, that's his 3rd. And it looks like it is. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, right now, and that's big because Paulding really not a deep team. And that's why I think Coach Logan Stoller was kind of rolling the dice there. That's
you got to come out now, right?
And right now you have to come out here. The final 46.1, maybe the rest of the half, you would think.
Hinkle is Mr. Automatic at the line. 16 of 17, now 17 of 18 for 94% on the season.
And that time, just a mistake by Jones. He did the right thing helping out. All he had to do was go straight up. Instead, he brought the arms down trying to swat the shot. And anytime you foul a guy on a jump shot, that's a no-no, especially somebody hitting north of 90%, as you see right there.
Make it 95% now, Scoop. He's automatic.
Yeah, that's big time.
Agler on the drive and a travel. Roanhouse, a little bit of contact with Fishpaw, and he drug his pivot foot.
Well, that's a great job by Fishpaw. You know, he did everything right. He got a high closeout that's going to take away the shot from Roanhouse. He anticipated that dribble penetration to the middle. When Roanhouse thought he was already there, he drug the pivot foot. And now a chance for the Pilots to take advantage at the defensive end.
Brady back in as Boer takes a seat on the Ayersville bench. Brady with a screen and a roll. He lost the ball, but he muscles it up. Left it a bit short. Just couldn't get a clean handle on her. That's probably two. Agler showing off a little French pastry in between the legs, working against Tinkle. Oh, nice dish down low. Great movement without the ball by Barton. Wow, pretty play. Two-man game.
It really was. Agler against that guy that can beat you off the dribble. And there's a shot by Roanhouse at the end of the quarter.
Back and forth we go. Ayersville will take a 1-point lead going into the second 8 minutes, 12-11. We'll take a quick breather. Back right after this. First Insurance Group timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports. Second 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. You get a good look into the Paulding huddle. Coach Logan Stoller looks pretty businesslike right there, but my goodness, keep it tuned in to number 11, Kane Jones, excuse me. He's just off to the left, but he picked up his third foul in the first quarter. You see him there with the Gatorade bottle. Scoop, do you think he'll see any time on the court in the second quarter?
I don't think we'll see him to the third quarter. But again, Coach Stoller rolled the dice, playing him with 2 fouls in the first quarter. But right now, you know, unless you get in desperation mode, you need to bring him in just to weather a run. But right now, Paulding trailing by 1 as they start out with the basketball. Agler up top.
Working against Tinkle, stutter steps. Oh, beautiful pass down low. And again, the equivalent of cutting your meat for you at dinner. Grady Barton with 6. But Agler has been stirring the drink tonight.
Yeah, Agler again, he's just too tough to go one-on-one. He puts it on deck. You've got to run a second defender at him. He's able to break down that defense multiple times here tonight.
Tinkle on the drive. Barton ties him up. Jump ball the call. We are to the back of the scorer's table. And it looks like it will remain. Nope, it's going to be Paulding basketball as Amoroso checks in for the Pilots.
That's going to be the 4th turnover on the Pilots here in this contest tonight. Both teams really getting into it defensively, making everything tough.
All right, stand corrected. It does stay with the Pilots, which is what my original thought was. Michael, beautiful baseline move and the nifty finger roll.
That's
5 on the night.
Tremendous move. That time he read this aggressive closeout, showed shot, took it right to the rim, made that look awfully easy.
Agler drives baseline cut off. Roanhouse, a little bit of contact, and he's stripped of the basketball. Here comes Peak across the timeline. Amoroso. Nice defense by Agler to cut him off at the free throw line.
And how about that defense by Amoroso at the other end to reroute Roanhouse out of the lane.
Michael in the low blocks, but he's off it a bit. Big man Clark and forces it, but Michael comes and gets it. What's he want to do? He's going to stop and pop mid-lane. Nothing doing.
Great job by Harder. They're going to need some big minutes out of Harder with a couple of their bigs in foul trouble.
Agler fades away from about 10, and he's fouled. I think it's Fishpaw. We'll wait and see. It is White 12. That's Lucas Fishpaw's second.
Well, once again, when Agler has the basketball in his hands in the open court, you have to run a second defender at him. You cannot let him break you down. Once he gets in the lane, his ability to finish, his ability to pass the basketball, going to make it awfully tough for the Pilots. And there Agler cashes in on the first of 2. He now has 3 points, looking to give the Panthers the lead back, and he does.
71% free throw shooter, makes good on 100% this trip, and it gives the Panthers a 1-point lead. Amoroso being dogged by Roanhouse. Clark pops up. Peak open for three. Thought that was a little long. Rebound Michael. He'll head to the line. Carter Michael has been a one-man wrecking crew so far here in the first half.
Well, no question about it. Right now, Paulding has no answer for the senior Carter Michael. I think he's drawn probably 7 different fouls tonight against the Panthers. That's going to be the 3rd on Grayson Harder. So foul troubles continue to mount for the Panthers, but the bulk of that due to the aggressive play by Carter Michael inside.
Michael, a 66% free throw shooter. He is 1 for 3 so far tonight. Trying to tie it up with a second opportunity here.
And now we're going to see the junior Lucas Beckman in. They're going to need some big minutes out of Beckman with a couple of his teammates in serious foul trouble. And we still have over 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Michael now with 6, knotted up at 15 all. Out up top, Barton, and there's Michael again with the strip. He's got a man up. Secondary break. Peak couldn't quite corral it, tried for the spectacular play in the middle of the paint. A beautiful pass down low to Amoroso. Look at Michael flying in. My goodness, jump ball the call. Number 33 is playing with his hair on fire tonight.
Well, Michael made that entry pass from beyond the arc. That ball quickly went up. And who was there in the backside even?
Yep.
It's Michael once again. And Paulding, you've got to get a couple bodies on him to keep that young man off the glass and out of the paint. Something's going to be much easier said than done, no doubt.
Agler from about 23 feet out, it barely catches iron, and look who pulls down the rebound. And who's running the break? Carter Michael releases the basketball. Amoroso being hand-checked by Roanhouse. Amoroso swings it to the near corner. Michael, tightrope walking the baseline. Peak, explosive move. Can't quite finish. Michael with the tip in!
Yeah, once again, they have no answer for Carter Michael, who goes untouched, anticipates that so well. A nice touch put back there.
Barton, near corner, hands it off to Agler. They screen for him, but he wants to drive. A beautiful spin move, and yet Peak recovered. Athlete on athlete. Agler sets a screen. Roanhouse doesn't want the 3. They screen twice for him. Barton rolls, but they can't find him. Heat check. Agler banks it in from about 23 feet out.
Whoa, that time Tuesday night, the bank is open. A premier bank 3. And that gives Paulding the lead back.
Carter Michael down low, goes up strong, hits the deck. Take your pick. It's either Beckman or Agler. It'll be Beckman.
Now, we told you this was not going to be an easy game to officiate, and it's lived up to that. It's just been incredible, Brent. We've had 4 ties and 4 lead changes. We're not even a quarter and a half into this one. And who else but Carter Michael back at the stripe to shoot a pair.
2 for 4, now 3 for 5 tonight.
And don't look now, we have our 5th tie. This one at 18 apiece.
Michael averages 10.3 points per ball game. He already has 9, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter. Deep breath. Baby face releases. Got them both. Carter Michael, have yourself a game. Timeout on the floor. 4:17 left to go first half. Pilots up by a point. You're watching DCTV Sports. Now there you get a good look at the backside of Caden Boer and Keithan Miles. That is the Pilots huddle. Somewhere in there, Carter Michael is catching a much-needed breather. He averages 10.3 per game. He's got 10 right now to lead all scorers, and we are still more than half of the second quarter left to be played. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller welcoming you back to the hangar. Ayersville Pilots home gym. And Scoop, you called that a Carter Michael timeout, not so much for the Pilots, but for the Panthers. They've got to figure something out.
Yeah, and I think that's a good timeout by Logan Stoller because right now they just have no answer for Michael. You know, he's closing in on a double-double. He's been a force on the glass. He's got the 10 points you mentioned. But again, he's just is taken over this game, and Paulding has to have an answer. Remember, Michael's got half their starting lineup on the bench with foul trouble as well.
Kane Jones with 3, Grayson Harder with 3. Speaking of 3, knocked down by Casey Agler, and without his sharpshooting, Lord knows where the Panthers would be right now. And look at this, they're actually up by 3.
Well, Agler's that guy that, he leads Paulding in minutes played, and he's that guy that leads the team in scoring. You saw a little bit reason why, but he's a guy that's got that three-point shot down, but he's also a guy that can beat you off the dribble that we've mentioned many times. Wow, that was a huge bucket there.
3:20 left to go in the first half. Clark up top, peek in the near corner. Long skip pass, Amoroso for 3. Goes begging off the left side. Rebounded by Barton. Trying to stretch a 3-point lead as we approach the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Barton comes up and sets a screen. Nice job by Amoroso to come under it. They re-screen. Roadhouse cut off. Michael stripped him.
Well, Michael does such a great job of hedging ball screens, and that time he completely made Roadhouse pick the basketball up.
Roadhouse on the drive. Amoroso right in his jersey. Mance has Lloyd in his jersey. Agler on the drive. Amoroso went for the steal and the friendly roll. Casey Agler almost single-handedly keeping the Panthers in the game. That's his 12th point. And down at the other end, Michael was trying for the breakaway, but it's knocked out of bounds. It will be Panther basketball.
Yeah, the freshman Jeremiah Peak that time was in a bad spot, locked in one-on-one with Agler. Credit Agler, he took him right inside, made a nice pump fake and finished. Now Roadhouse brings it up. It's just incredible right now that Paulding has the ball in the lead. The way Ayersville and Carter Michael has really been forced inside here tonight.
Amoroso all over Roadhouse. Agler, he's feeling it. This one's short. Michael taps it to himself. Quick outlet, Amoroso. It's 1-on-5. He'll slow it down. Good transition D by Paulding. Interior pass. Michael tried to kick it out. It was deflected. Pilots will inbound on the baseline. Just under 2 minutes now left to go in the first half.
Of all the teams I've seen this year, Brent, I think Paulding has the best transition defense that I've seen from all of them. They do such a great job. And any coach will tell you that's probably the hardest thing to teach your team is transition defense.
Fishpaw will reverse it. Amoroso. They got a little clogged up in the high blocks. Both Clark and Michael were there. Fishpaw, now they find Michael. And a late whistle, but this one's going to go against Beekman.
Yeah, it was late, but it was the correct call. You know, that time an excellent entry pass from Lucas Fishpaw. And again, Carter Michael, he was able to seal this guy inside, got that pass, and he draws the contact. That's going to be Beckman's second foul as well. So Carter Michael continues to wreak havoc against this Paulding defense. And there he connects on the first and 2 to get this back to a one-possession game.
Lloyd out, peek in for the Pilots, trying to pull it to within a basket here. Michael's second is on the way. Good-looking rotation.
Wow, what a night he continues to have.
Half his points have come from the line. 23-21. Agler with 12 of his own. Roadhouse fades away. It's a bit short. Amoroso with the board. But again, 5 maroon jerseys get back. Clark swings it left side to Fishpaw. They'll reverse it again. Michael trying to post up. They are really sagging down. This is basically pack line defense almost, with the exception of who's on the ball.
Well, you have to. You're not going to guard Carter Michael one-on-one inside, so get as much help size you can on him. try to sandwich him, limit his touches, make him work awfully hard to get the basketball.
Amoroso for three. Off the heel of the iron. Clark almost had it. Quick outlet. 3 white jerseys back. On the far wing, Agler. Oh, what a pass. What a spin move by Barton, and in and out. Wow. Michael with the board.
Tremendous entry pass that time from Casey Agler. Unfortunately for Paulding, they come up empty. Now the Pilots can tie with a 2 or take the lead with a 3.
Right now, I think they're taking the air out of the ball.
Yeah,
Both teams need a breather.
Look very content right now to play for that last shot. And they will get the ball to start the third quarter as well. So right now, looking to get a little shot in the arm going into the locker room at the break.
Coming up on 10 seconds, usually about the time they'll set their offense in motion. 9, 8, 6, still nothing doing. Peak, pump fakes, puts up a contested shot off the mark, and that'll do it for the first 16 minutes of play. Ayersville led by 1 after the first. Paulding leads by 2 after the second. Both clubs head to their respective locker rooms. Panthers 23, Pilots 21. We will take a First Insurance Group timeout. Back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to the hangar. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. We are at the intermission. There you see Belle McGuire, the birthday girl, who was elected by whoever had their ticket drawn to shoot for them. They gave her a little extra time to make the three-pointer, and now she's got a chance for $100 for a half-court shot. This kid is such a ham. Look at her playing it up.
She's got the confidence.
In slides.
Get a hole.
Little short. How can you not love that smile? She lights up a room no matter where she goes.
Happy birthday, young lady.
Absolutely. Happy birthday. All right, 23-21. We are locking in on the boys contest right now. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Our score at the intermission, 23-21. This is your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Time for a quick peek at your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. Let's break down the points first. We've got a tie, 12 points apiece for for Ayersville's Carter Michael, who averages 10.5 per ball game, and the Panthers' Casey Agler. He also has 12. Agler averages 13 per contest, so a couple of big guns getting after each other in the first 16 minutes. To be honest, nobody else even close after that. Let's run it down a bit more balance for the Panthers. Grady Barton with 6 points, then a deuce apiece for Blake Roanhouse and Kane Jones. Jones picked up 3 fouls in the first quarter. He's not the only one in foul trouble for Paulding. Starting center Grayson Harder has 3. Backup center Lucas Beckman has 2. On the flip side, for the Pilots, in addition to Carter Michaels' 12 points, 4 points for Ben Amoroso, a basket from the floor and a pair of free throws. A 3 for Jeremiah Peak, the freshman starter. And off the bench, Dylan Hinkle, a 95% free throw shooter, is 2 for 2 from the line. What do you have for turnovers, Scoop?
Well, each team turned the ball over 5 times in the opening 6 minutes. And surprisingly, neither team was able to convert those turnovers into points. So very hard played game by both teams. They really hang their hats on the defensive end. But I think that's going to be the telltale. Maybe which team can get points from their defense may have the edge here in the second half.
When you take a look at it, let's start in the Pilots locker room. And if you are basically coaches Wolfram and Retcher, 2 of the starters are in foul trouble, a third potentially. What's your game plan, at least offensively, in the second half?
Well, I think you have to attack the interior. You know, that's where they really made their hay, I thought, in that first half. And that's what got Paulding in such foul trouble, the fact they got a lot of touches inside. They did a great job of going to the offensive glass, creating some scenarios. But I also think, you know, for the Pilots, they have to find a way to keep the ball out of Casey Agler's hands because he had a monster first half, stepped up with 12 big points, as you mentioned. And he's that go-to guy for the Panthers when things get tough.
Well, here's the question then. If you are Logan Stoller in the Panthers locker room, you got to have somebody else help you out. Who do you try and set up? Who do you, I don't want to say beg, but who do you challenge to get more involved offensively in the second half?
Well, you have to find a way to get Kane Jones, and he got off to a nice start, but the fouls quickly ended his first half. He picked up his 3rd foul in that first quarter. He sat out. You got to remember, you know, Roanhouse is another guy that's capable of going off for 20 points. He was just held to 3 points at opening half, so he's the guy I think Coach Stoller is going to try to challenge, try to get him to step up his game. But this Ayersville defense has done a great job of not allowing Roanhouse get any type of dribble penetration.
On the flip side, you can say the same thing if your coach is Wolfram and Retcher. Who are you challenging to get more involved and maybe take a little bit of heat off of Carter Michael?
Well, they have to get Brady Clark, I think. He's one guy that's going to have to maybe relieve some of that pressure off of Carter Michael. But again, I think this could be a balanced Ayersville team. They've had some good looks from the perimeter. They really just have not knocked anything down. So maybe who can get that hot hand outside, give them some reps, and if you start knocking down a few outside shots, that's really going to make it tough for this Panther defense.
We are just under 4 minutes before we resume play. Again, 23-21. Pilots at 6-10 overall, 2-3 in the GMC. The Panthers at 9-6 and 2-2. The Pilots trying to snap a 4-game losing skid. Last time we were here for DCTV, they had it won, and then Adam Spachala for Tenora drained a 3 with 3 seconds left. It has been 4 one-possession losses for the Pilots since then. On the flip side for the Panthers at 9-6 and 2-2, they're coming off a tight ball game as well, a 55-53 win over Ottoville. So the question is who maintains their winning streak or who snaps the losing streak? We'll wait and see. 3 minutes before we come up with quarter number 3. Don't you go anywhere. This is the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show, and you're watching DCTV Sports. Two minutes before we resume second half play here at the hangar. I love the name of this place. You got the Ayersville Pilots. Now they don't have the auxiliary gym, which used to be the prime gym, doors open here. It's a little bit of a lighter crowd, but Scoop, this place seats, I think, just over 1,500. And when it is packed, it is an absolutely difficult place to play for the opposition. This is a sweet little gym.
Well, it's always been, especially in that old facility. But now with the new facility, still playing at the hangar's been tough. But it's been surprising this year, Brent, that Ayersville this year at home, somehow they're just 1-5, which kind of blows my mind, because if you would have asked coaches over the years the toughest place to go play, a lot of them would have said Ayersville without a question.
Yep.
But meanwhile, Paulding's had their struggles on the road.
Yep.
The Panthers just 2-5 on the road, so something's going to give tonight. It's been back and forth that first half. I think we may have several more lead changes before this thing's all said and done.
Well, after tonight, the Pilots will host Edgerton on Friday. On the flip side, the Panthers will get to go back to the jungle as they will host Tenora. Tenora had a 3-game winning streak snapped Saturday night as they hosted Archbold. That was really a close ball game. Tenora, don't sleep on them, folks. The record is deceiving. They played a very difficult non-conference preseason, if you want to call it that, schedule. Again, one of those situations where Coach Lymanstall said, I don't believe in grade inflation. I want to make us better for the end of the year. Forget about what the non-conference record is. And right now, I know that they're well below 500, but I don't know anybody that wants to face Tenora in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, you're right. I think that speaks volumes for the GMC. Last year, they were the second winningest conference in this area as they won nearly 60% of their non-conference games, second only to the NWOL that won 67%. And how about, you talked about that win or that loss to Archbold. The NWL this year winning 70% of their non-conference games, ahead of only the GMC, who's been awfully good out of the league again this year.
Incredible.
As well.
Pilots trail by a basket. They will have the ball to start the second half.
There you see a little adjustment here by the
zone.
Panthers. Go a little zone here to try to protect their guys in foul trouble.
One of them on the court right now, number 11, Kane Jones with 3. Skip pass far side. Fishpaw maybe a little gun shy after missing a couple of three-pointers in the first half. And right now the Pilots also trying to figure out what offense to run, and Coach Wolfram is not happy. He's calling them in. We will keep it here. All right, against that 2-3 zone, we saw the skip pass, but what else is available to break this thing down?
Well, they got to get touches in the middle. Right now, Paulding's come out in a 1-2-2 half-court zone defense, something they've run at times this year. Not a lot, but they've run it. But all zones basically are 2-3 once you make that initial pass. So you've got to get the ball to the middle where you've got the entire floor. That's going to put a lot of strain on those two guys down low. So right now you have to ball fake against the zone. You need to try to attack the gaps, and you have to screen a zone. That's probably the lost art, and I think that's why Coach Logan Stoller not happy. His guys were standing around instead of trying to screen and attack that zone defense.
So timeout over. Amoroso will bring it across the timeline. Man's right in his jersey, and have they switched?
Paulding goes back to man-to-man.
Clark almost throws it away. Roanhouse got a piece of it, knocks it out of bounds.
We see coaches do that all the time. You burn a timeout because you don't like your offense against this defense. So what do you do to cross them up? You switch defenses, so everything they just talked about kind of goes in one ear, out the other.
Amoroso to Clark, who pops out. He has played a ton beyond the arc so far tonight. Amoroso. Nice drive and dish. Fishpaw, again, doesn't want the open look. Clark off a double screen. Pilots being patient. Peak on the drive. Oh, my goodness. Muscles that up. Hits the deck. No call. We play on.
Great job by Barton on Michael and getting that rebound.
Roanhouse, little dipsy doodle into the lane and gets the teardrop to fall.
Well, that was a good one-on-one matchup. A lot of physicality going both ways, and Roanhouse that time just a little bit better.
Michael stops and pops from 15, and he's picking up where he left off in the first half. He's now got 14.
Well, there's why it's so important to get the ball in the middle of the floor. It really puts so much stress on that defense. And nice to see Michael pick up where he left off.
Jones on the drive despite the 3 fouls. Brady staying right with him. Another pump fake, and he's on the move again. Pass was a little hot. Barton, can he Well, it was knocked out of bounds. Take your pick. It might have been Michael. The inbounds to Agler. Spots up for three. Looked good off his fingertips. Here come the Pilots with a rare fast break opportunity, but again, Paulding's transition D is excellent. That's a dangerous pass. Amoroso back out, Michael. Peak directing a little bit of traffic. On the drive, the freshman couldn't quite muscle that one up. He hits the deck for the second time in as many shots.
A great check out by Grady Barton once again to keep Michael off the board. And there's going to be a turnover. And again, tremendous one-on-one defense against Blake Roanhouse.
So only one basket for both teams here to start the second half. Not quite 3 minutes into it. And Paulding with a 2-2-1 zone press. Pilots trying to go over the top of it. They break it. Michael, oh, that was a lazy pass by Peak. Jumping the passing lanes, and that's a steal by Paulding. Roanhouse on the drive, that's his shot, and he drains the stop and pop 15-footer.
And there you go, points from the defense for the Panthers. They forced a turnover, and then Roanhouse with that pull-up mid-range jumper stretches that lead to 4.
Paulding up, 27-23. Amoroso will slow it down and back it out. Coach Retcher giving directions. Lob, Peak. Boy, he is struggling right now. Jones with 3 fouls on the drive in. Take your pick. It's either Brady or Michael.
And that's Kane Jones's game right there. He loves to attack offensively. That time he went downhill. And that's a guy, he's got 3 fouls. So I think if you're Ayersville, you have to maybe try to step in, draw the charge. That time they bail him out. Jones goes to the stripe. First one up and in. Jones comes in, 70% free throw shooter. Paulding as a team shooting just north of 68% on the season. Maybe a little bit higher now with Jones connecting on the front and back end of that 2-shot foul.
Stretching the lead, largest of the evening. It's a half a dozen. And right now just 1 basket so far here in the third quarter for the Pilots. Their offense has gone cold. And again, Fishpaw's upset, but that was not a good pass. He telegraphed it into a double team.
3 consecutive turnovers by the Pilots, and Paulding trying to get points from the defense again.
Agler drives but stops and kicks it back out. Agler working against Fishpaw. Oh, nice pass. Again, nice movement by Barton without the basketball, and Ayersville needs a timeout. Paulding has come out and just been patient, using a scalpel instead of an axe, and they have dissected Ayersville here through the first 4 minutes and 12 seconds. 31-23, Paulding with the lead. We'll take a quick First Insurance Group timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back at the hangar, Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller, 3:48 left to go in the third quarter. Largest lead of the game for either team. Paulding enjoys it, 31-23, just 1 basket for the hosts here in the second half. It came on a 15-footer from Carter Michael. And they need something here to jumpstart the offense. Amoroso, down low to Michael, triple teamed. Who picked up the foul? Mans was on him. Barton was on him. It's going to be Jones. His 4th.
Boy, that's big. That's going to force Coach Logan Stoller to go to his bench here, as Jones will clocks hit the final 3:33 of the third quarter. So maybe that can spark Ayersville right now. Paulding on a 6-0 run, but all 6 of those points, Brents, came as a result of defensive turnovers.
Well, the inbounds to Michael, and I can't believe it, but the pass was off. Fishpaw pump fakes and goes up for 3. Michael with the board. Just outmans everybody.
Now that's huge. He stepped up in so many ways tonight, and Paulding's made some nice adjustments on him the second half. That time he was just a little bit better. Got a great putback after the offensive rebound.
He's got 16. The lead is cut to 6, and we've got a foul on the drive.
This is going to be Titus Mance, the senior, with a strong move to the rack. Mance comes in just a 50% free throw shooter. He'll get a pair, the first one up and in.
Brady Clark guilty of his second foul. Mann's first point of the evening. Titus Mans averages 2 a game, and he'll have to wait to hit his average. 32-25, lead is 7. 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Peak looking down low. Skip pass near wing. Oops, was that deflected? Over and back. Amoroso just, I don't want to say took his eye off the ball because there was a defender that jumped in between him and the ball. But an untimely turnover, and he's checking out as Hinkle will check in.
Now that's the 4th turnover against the Pilots here in the first 5 minutes and 12 seconds of quarter 3. And on the first 3, Paulding was able to cash in.
Right now, being strong with the ball, Mance. Boy, got lucky. He got caught on the baseline. Agler. In between the legs, working against Fishpaw. On the drive, stops. That's a very contested shot. Ball being tapped around and out of bounds. Michael hit the deck, and I think Barton thought that the rebound was his. But again, that's just good team basketball by Ayersville.
It really was a great hustle play by Barton, but the alertness there by the Pilots to go after the basketball. Barton ran into a little traffic, losing it out of bounds. Now a big opportunity for Ayersville to chip away.
Peek into the paint, forces up a bad shot. Michael's there, couldn't get the roll, but he will head to the line.
And right now, if you're Ayersville, you have to find a way to get this young man touches inside. He's the guy that really carried you in that opening half, but they've kind of gone away. A lot of that credit to that Paulding defense, but you have to start screening him, start getting some ball reversals, give him a chance to do his thing inside.
First is up, rattles it home. And Scoop, he's also spending a ton of energy. He may not have put together the offensive performance, but don't forget, he is flying around, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, and credit to Coach Logan Stoll. They're trying to get a touch on him every time down, just trying to give him a little nudge, reroute him, make him work extra hard to get the ball, so once he does, he's a little less effective. There he hits 2 big free throws.
He's got 18 tonight. They're back to within 5, but right now Paulding with the ball and in command with under 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Ronow sizing up Peak. Is he going to get a screen? He will. They switch. Nice job by Clark. The big man Harder, not a threat from beyond the arc. Agler, however, is, and he's sizing up Fishpaw. Drives and dishes. Ball moving pretty well right now for Paulding. Ronow stops, now resets. Puts up about a 10-footer off the mark. Clark. Boy, there's bodies hitting the deck. It's out of bounds off of Paulding, and who's hurt? It looks like Mans. Titus Mans trying to catch his breath.
Well, that was an absolute battle heel. That time, Brady Clark had to switch. He got locked up one-on-one with Blake Ronehouse, but he forced Ronehouse to take a tough shot.
Actually, it's Thad Schneider. It's 10, not number 1, who's trying to catch his breath. With 1:23 left to go, another opportunity for the Pilots to cut into the deficit. Hinkle, lob pass far corner. Fishpaw on the drive. Wraparound pass to Michael. It was a little loose. Michael says, I don't care. He's going to elevate. He's feeling it. We see you, number 33.
You have to feed him right now. He's kind of been in a zone.
My goodness. Whistle sounds. They gave that to 3, Jeremiah Peak. That was clearly Carter Michael. The board is incorrect. It should be 20 points for Michael.
And that's going to be the 3rd team foul on the Pilots here. So they still have one more to give here in the final 56.1.
Foul's going against Fishpaw. I believe that's his 3rd as he's coming out of the game. 32-29. Logan Wolfram and Dave Retcher. Well, Logan Wolfram is fit to be tied. He was not happy with that call. Roanhouse will inbound, lobs it out to Agler. He's going to take Amoroso down the left side of the lane, and that's great defense by the Pilots.
That was. Amoroso that time won that one-on-one battle. Not an easy task against Agler.
Peak coming out an arm's length off of Roanhouse. Moving east-west right now. Freshman stays on him. Agler stops from the elbow. Halfway down, it spits out, and Carter Michael with another board. He'll bring it up the court. Boy, Agler got in on him. Amoroso will dribble out in between the circles. Look at this man defense by Agler.
Yeah, right now they switched 2-3, but Agler is locked in. He's got a lot of ball pressure. And now for the final 10.
9 seconds. They got to put their offense in motion. 6. Peak. Long distance 3. It's short. Battle for the loose ball, and it will be Paulding's with 9/10 of a second left in the quarter. Agler. Long 3/4 court shot. Nothing doing. And Paulding will take a 32-29 lead into the final 8 minutes. We'll take a quick First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, 4th quarter. You're watching DCTV Sports. All right, that scoreboard is wrong. They gave Carter Michael's last basket to Peak.
Yeah, it was definitely,
Yeah, I'm looking over there like, what the heck? Yeah, the scoreboard's wrong. It's 20 for Michael. Yep, okay.
It is a yellow ticket, yellow ticket.
Buzzer sounds, final 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. We welcome you back to the hangar. Brent Balbinot, Scoop Miller. Visiting Paulding 32, host Ayersville 29. We'll give you a quick Mark Moats Ford stat summary. 20 points for Carter Michael, 4 for Ben Amoroso, 3 for Jeremiah Peak, and 2 for Dylan Hinkle off the bench. On the flip side for Paulding as Roanhouse just throws that ball away. 12 points for Casey Agler. He had a dozen at the half. 6 points for Blake Roanhouse. 4 points for Kane Jones. He is still sitting on the bench with 4 fouls and a deuce for center Grady Barton. As Michael leans in against the big man. He's now got 22.
Continue to feed him, get him touches. He's been unstoppable. The Panthers still have no answer for Michael here tonight.
3 at the other end. This one jacked up by Harder, 1 and done. Chance for the Pilots to retake the lead this trip down the court. They're posting Michael up down low. Now he'll stretch out a bit. Peak directing traffic. He wants Amoroso to come back up top. Bounce pass to Hinkle. They'll reverse it. Into the high blocks. Nice movement without the ball by Amoroso, and he's fouled.
Great job by Amoroso that time to make a rim run. Michael caught the ball at the elbow, drew a crowd. Great job going without the basketball. Boy, they're going to rule that on the shot.
Yeah.
So there'll be 2 coming up here. Chance for Ayersville to take their first lead of this second half.
Amoroso ties it with his first free throw. He's a 66% free throw shooter as the foul went against Agler. Speaking of fouls, Kane Jones with 4 has checked back in for Paulding as Amoroso rattles home the second, and the Pilots on a 4-0 run to open up the fourth quarter, retake the lead.
And remember, they ended the third quarter on a 4-0 run as well, so they've now scored 8 consecutive points. Paulding trying to get the answer with instant offense. Kane Jones in.
From the elbow, off the mark, Michael with another rebound. This is a heads-up play to just stop and wait for a guard to come help you. Man, this kid is having a night.
Oh, he's just been dominating at both ends and certainly on the glass as well.
Hinkle for 3. Skims off the side of the iron. Roanhouse wants to run. It's 4-on-4 basically. Agler, a dozen at the half, remains with a dozen. Down low, Jones backs it out. Boy, for a big man, Brady has had a chore to stay with him, but he's done a good job.
He really has. I've been impressed with this defense tonight.
Mans releases the ball. Jones wants to drive, but Brady has been there most of this contest. Mans, he's flirting with 5, puts it on the floor. Roanhouse has 6 on the evening. And the Ayersville fans applauding the Pilot defense. Agler on the drive. 2 white jerseys rotate over, and he throws it away. That was a great, roughly 30 seconds of defense by the Pilots.
Textbook defense that time by Ayersville. They were locked in 1-on-1. They took away Jones going to his left, took away Agler going to his right. Then they force a inside-out pass. It ends up on the Paulding bench, and 2 quick turnovers here for the Panthers in this fourth quarter.
Amoroso finds the hot man of the night. Michael fades away, middle of the paint, doesn't catch anything that time. And that was just plain great defense by Grady Barton.
Well, he did a great job of keeping him from backing him down inside. Great physicality that time by the Panthers.
Timeout, 30-second variety by Coach Stoller. We'll break with him. 5:01 left to go in the ball game. 33-32, Pilots lead the Panthers. We're back after this on DCTV Sports. Still a lot of time left to go. The scene, the hangar, Ayersville High School Gymnasium. GMC basketball. Brent Balvin alongside Scoot Miller. 5 minutes and 1 second left to go in this one. Pilots trying to break to an even 3-3 in conference play. Panthers would love to go a game above it at 3-2. Low-scoring, defensive-oriented contest. Hosts lead it by 1. Visitors trying to retake the lead. Barton backing down Michael, kicks it out up top. Roanhouse, nice dish down low, and Barton with his 10th point of the night, but he's got his guards that have been feeding him for the better part of this contest.
That was a beautiful assist that time by Roanhouse, the sophomore. Great dribble penetration, drew the double team. Nice find there.
Hinkle on the drive. Oh, nice up and under move. He didn't use the glass. It's in and out. He did everything but finish. Paulding leading by 1. Agler scoreless in the second half. Feeds Barton down low. Count it, and 1 coming, or they're going to wave it off. They're going to say the foul was on the floor.
That's a tough break for the Panthers. Great job of getting the ball inside. They had position. Huge break for the Pilots as that foul occurred before the shot. And just the first team foul here by Ayersville.
Second on Michael. Hinkle will check out. Fishpaw in for the Pilots. Jones playing with 4 fouls, sets a screen. Roanhouse trying to drive, he'll kick it. Agler for 3, left it short. Roanhouse flies in out of nowhere, and Michael picks up his 3rd foul.
Now, Roanhouse has really stepped up here in the last couple minutes. Because that time, I love the penetration. He drew a crowd, the nice kick-out pass to Agler for the 3. But then Roanhouse went unchecked, did a great job of going to the rim there on that rim run. And now he's got 2 from the stripe. First one up and in.
Drains his first. Blake Roanhouse, an excellent free throw shooter at 78%.
You know, he leads the team in that category, but also, you know, being a guard just at 6 foot, he also leads the team in rebounds. And that one misses. A nice rebound, that time by the freshman Jeremiah Peak.
So the lead remains 2. Now under 4 minutes left to go in the contest. Clark pops out. Michaels posting up in the low blocks. Kicks it back out. Fishpaw on the drive. Michael sizing up the big man. Nice spin move. Muscles up. He'll go to the line again. It's either Agler or Barton. We'll wait and see.
I think they're going to get Barton. We'll see what the...
It's Agler.
That is Agler, so that's probably a break for them. That's just going to be his 2nd foul. But, again, you can see Carter Michael just playing with a chip on his shoulder right now. That time he was determined to get to the rack. Unfortunately, the free throw going to fall off the side.
He's got 22 on the night. See how much he's got left in the tank for the final 3:33 as he drains his 2nd. Give him 23, and it's a 1-point game. Man, what a contest.
Ayersville continues with this solid, aggressive man-to-man defense.
Mance looking for a cutter, nothing doing. Roanhouse pops out. He'll elevate over Amoroso and drains a 3.
Great set play that time to free up Roanhouse off the zipper screen. Watch it there.
Premier Bank 3, and this is a huge possession now for Ayersville, down by 4. Amoroso getting the signal from Coach Retcher. Peak looking down low to Clark. Jones is on him. They're going to try and force feed him. It's out of bounds. Last touch by a maroon jersey.
Great read by Roanhouse there on the backside to anticipate that lob inside. He knocks it out of bounds. The Pilots will have to reset it here.
Peak the trigger man. They're not putting anybody on him. Fishpaw right back to Peak. Freshman can drive. He went up hesitantly, and it's out of bounds off the Pilots. The freshman just struggling tonight. He turned. You could see the look of surprise on his face without anybody there. That's when you need to make the decision and just go, even if you don't make it. And he was a bit tentative there.
Yeah, he really was, but I like the fact he likes to go downhill. He's aggressive. That's something that's going to come. He certainly has a high upside.
Feeding down low to Barton. Michael rotates back. Up top, Jones with the pump fake. Into the paint. Charge the call! And Jones has just fouled out.
Wow, and who else to take the charge?
Carter Michael.
Carter Michael. Just another heady play. I'm not sure Coach Logan Stiller happy with that call, but again, a gutty play there by Michael. And wow, you talk about maybe a game changer. That's a big time play. Not just getting Jones out of the game, ends up being a turnover. And now the Pilots can make this a 1-possession game with 2 and some change to go.
38-34. Pilots still need to find some offense. Peek into the front court. Slowing it down. He looks a bit more aggressive now. Amoroso in between the circles. Gets the signal from Coach Retcher. Off of Michael's screen. He didn't really use it very well. Clark on the drive left wing. Backing harder down. Fishpaw didn't want the 3. Back out. This is a smart move by the Pilots to reset. Clark trying to post up against Harder again. Peek on the drive. Oh, what a spin move! And can't finish with the left hand.
Oh, that was a sweet move. And again, he did everything but finish. a gutty play, but they come up empty. And now the Pilot defense has to rise to the occasion, down by 4.
Agler on the drive, but Fishpaw cuts him off. Coach Stoller wants a timeout. $1:17 left to go in the game. A 2-possession lead for the visiting Panthers, 38-34. All right, 2 questions here. First, do you really need to look for a shot if you are Paulding, or do you back it out and force Ayersville to foul? And secondly, if you're Ayersville, if that's your strategy, how much time can you allow off the clock before you do decide to foul?
Well, I look for Panthers here to try to air this out, try to take time off the clock, and as you mentioned, Brett, force Ayersville to foul, but they're going to do that in an aggressive set where if they can get a good inside look, a layup, obviously they're going to take it. But if you're Ayersville, I don't think you can allow a lot of time to go off. First of all, you still have 2 fouls to give.
Yep.
These officials have been very consistent letting you play, so try to get that denial, try to get that quick double team. If you get a steal, that's fine. You get a foul, that's fine, but you have to find a way to lengthen this game with just $1:17 to go and down by 4 and Paulding with the basketball.
Tell you what, credit to this officiating crew. They hung around for the second game. We believe this is the same crew. Schimmel, and Simmons. And you're right, they have been very consistent tonight.
Yeah, they have. They let both these teams play, and nothing wrong with that. There's going to be a charge.
Oh, a charge on Agler. Fishpaw rolled the dice, and it came up snake eyes for Agler, and he can't believe it.
And again, I like that aggressiveness. You have 2 fouls to give, so don't waste time. And wow, another potential game-changing play. Now Ayersville just has to get
it's a must-score possession for Ayersville.
You got to make it a 1-possession game.
Hinkle really being dogged. They go to Michael, the big man. He was backing up and he traveled. Barton came up and then backed off. Michael was thinking he was going to have to bang him down, and he fell down. I don't know if Barton did that on purpose, but it ended up to work for perfection.
It did. There's a near turnover there as Roanhouse tracks it down. An alert foul that time from Dylan Hinkle. That stops the clock at 54.1.
They still have one more.
Still 1 to give, so try to get that backcourt turnover, but if it gets in the front court, you have to foul immediately.
Inbounds, and it looks like a foul is going to be called on Fishpaw before the ball is inbounds. I don't know if they purposely did that, but that's actually a smart play with no time ticking off the clock.
Well, that was a great foul because Agler had a step, and he was going to the rack there looking for a layup off the out of bounds.
It's Fishpaw's 4th, and Michael knocks it out of bounds. He almost came away with the steal. This kid has done everything tonight, and yet they're still down by 4.
Well, that's a great read. You know, Agler's shooting north of 70%, so you know they'd like to get the ball in his hands.
They break away. Mance on Hinkle, and Mance with a heads-up play to kick it out. And now they got a foul. Roanhouse on the drive, kicks it out. Ayersville has to foul. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. Clark comes out. Mance is the man to foul, and Clark does it. That's his 3rd.
Well, that's a great job by that Pilot defense. You know, they had enough time. It's just 2 possessions where you don't necessarily have to foul the first guy. You know, they had a chance to foul Agler, but Agler north of 70%.
Yep.
Mance just a 50% free throw shooter, so we'll see if it pays off.
He's 1 for 2 tonight. He drains his first.
Boy, that's big. You know, right now, it's going to be a 2-possession game either way, but you'd love to make it a 2-possession where Ayersville has to hit 2 threes just to tie.
Second is up. Wow, ice water in this kid's veins. It's now a 6-point game, still a 2-possession contest, but with 37 and 6/10 seconds left, Ayersville has got to draw something up and something fast.
And how about Paulding really stepped up here a notch, you know, especially after Jones went out with his 5th foul. Remember, Ayersville scored the first 4 points of this 4th quarter, but since that time, they've been outscored 8-1 in about the last 5 minutes. So tremendous job by the Panthers getting it done at the defensive end.
What are you drawing up right now if you're Ayersville? You need something, and you need it fast. And in a 6-point deficit, it almost has to be a 3 here, doesn't it?
Well, you'd like a 3, but I think what you have to do, you've got to go to your horse, Carter Michael, inside. If you get the double team, that's going to free up the 3 ball, the inside out. If you don't get it, you still have 2 timeouts left, and then you're going to take your chances at the foul line. But the bottom line is, you've got to get points in this possession, and you've got to get them in the first 15 seconds.
Facing some full court pressure. Amoroso sprints into the front court. Comes off a Michael screen. He had an open look at 3. Hinkle launches. Got it! Oh! Dylan Hinkle keeps life in the Pilots with a key Premier Bank 3 with 26 and 6/10 seconds left to go.
And how about that play drawn up by Dave Retcher and Logan Ruffin? You got your top 3-point shooter, Dylan Hinkle, at just under 40% on the season. You allow him to catch and shoot in rhythm. And now, you only took about 12 seconds off the clock. You made it a 1-possession game. And now you go for that steal. If you don't get it, you have to take your chances putting the Panthers at the charity stripe.
If you are Paulding, the men you want with the basketball in their hands would be Blake Roanhouse, Grayson Harder, or Casey Agler.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those 3 are all north of 70%.
Harder's over 80.
Yeah, he's almost 90%. He's really been lights out, but, Agler and Roanhouse.
Look at this, though. Roanhouse is your inbounder.
Well,
or do you drop something sneaky here?
Remember, you can throw it across the baseline, but Roanhouse takes it out all year, so he's the guy that they feel comfortable throwing the ball in bounds.
They release Mance. They get it into Agler, and Clark fouls him immediately, but that's his 4th. Well, we mentioned Agler as one of those holy trinity that Paulding wants to have the basketball at the line. He's a 71% free throw shooter. He is 2 for 2 tonight, but he is scoreless here in the second half.
Remember, Agler, honorable mention all GMC a year ago on that GMC championship squad. Couple big free throws right here.
Got
First
one
up and in.
That's huge because it's now a 2-possession game again.
Yeah, that's huge, but you don't want to leave points on the table, so make this a 5-point game if you can. Ayersville's got to come down with a rebound and look to push in transition.
Again, ice water in the Panthers' veins. Down by 5. Here comes Ayersville. Amoroso off a screen. They get Hinkle open. He'll step in. They got to get something off. They feed Clark down low. In and out. Roanhouse with the board. Mance will dribble it out. Fouled at half court, and that will do it. Point blank.
What a tough break. They got a good look to Michael inside. He just could not get that thing to settle inside the hoop there. Then Paulding alertly gets it out. Now Mance trying to put the final nail in the coffin. With that free throw, he makes it a 6-point game. He now has 4 points on the night. And for a 50% free throw shooter,
wow.
Boy, he's been money. String music on that one.
Amoroso hustles, crosses over. Barton doesn't foul. 3 seconds left. Hinkle for 3, and that'll do it. What a ball game. Final score. Paulding 44, Ayersville 37. Panthers make it 2 in a row. And for the 5th straight game for the Pilots, frustration as they fall by 6. Check that, 7. We'll take a quick timeout. A First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, we welcome you back to the hangar. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Tonight, doubleheader, girl-boy version, and it did not disappoint. Congratulations going out to the Ayersville girls as they knocked off Wauseon in game one. This one came down to the closing minutes. It will look less tight than it was, and it was still a two-possession ball game, 7 points. But with the victory, the Paulding Panthers now go a game above 500 in the GMC. They are now 10-6 overall as the Pilots fall to 6-11, 2-4 in conference play with a 44-37 win. I'm Brent Balbinot. He is Scoop Miller. It is time for the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Let's go ahead and start it off with your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. I've got the points. Scoop has the turnovers and points off of turnovers. What a night for Carter Michael. And I know that this will mean not nearly as much for him, but a career-high 23 points. Did you have rebounds at all, or we know that he was in a double-double?
Yeah,
it's just
I
a
think
matter
he
of,
had 14 rebounds. That's certainly unofficial, but gives you a little idea of what that young man did here tonight. He was just a force. He was just kind of a man among boys for most of that game, but credit Paulding. They made as many adjustments as they could to slow him down. They had just enough in the tank to pull out a tight one here at the hangar.
On a night, too, where the Pilots were without the services of starting forward Garrett Flory, who averages 9 and 5. Hopefully that ankle heals up quickly. You can only think woulda, coulda, shoulda if you're Ayersville.
Yeah, they just needed a little bit more offense. They just could not get it. And credit, Paulding, they did a great job of really trying to make Carter Michael work for everything. They just needed that secondary player to go to. But that Paulding defense was awfully good. They finished the game on a 12-4 run that last 5 minutes. It just did not allow the Pilots to get easy looks and a chance to get back in it.
Let's run down the rest of the scoring. Not a whole lot for Ayersville. The next high point man would have been point guard Ben Amoroso. He had 6. 5 points for Dylan Hinkle off the bench. He was 2 for 2 from the free throw line and drained a Premier Bank three-pointer. Also, Jeremiah Peak with a three-pointer all the way back in the first quarter. He finishes with 3. On the flip side for Paulding, balance. As a matter of fact, 3 starters in double figures. They got no bench points. All of their scoring came from their starting 5, leading the way, Casey Agler. And he only had 2 in the second half. He had a dozen at the intermission. He had 2 key free throws in the closing minutes. He finishes with 14. 10 points apiece for off-guard Blake Roanhouse and backup center Grady Barton. 5 points for Titus Mans. Kane Jones fouled out with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the game. He finishes with 4. But Scoop, as I look at my book here, they did it from the charity stripe. 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 of 8 from the free throw line in the final 2 minutes of this ball game. They had their shots, and they salted it away from the charity stripe.
Yeah, that'll win you a lot of games, especially in this game where they're just really, until late there was no separation either way. We had so many lead changes and ties throughout. But again, good clutch free throw shooting down the stretch where the Pilots were forced to put the Panthers on the foul line. It is tough to chip away the deficit when they cash in on the freebies.
What'd you have for turnovers?
Well, for the night, we had Paulding just 9 turnovers. They did a great job, and it limited Ayersville to just 2 points off those 9 turnovers. That was huge. On the flip side, Ayersville turned it over 11 times, and the third quarter was big. 3 consecutive times the Pilots turned it over, and each time Paulding was able to cash in at the offensive end. And that was 6 of the 8 points that Paulding scored in that third quarter. So credit that Pilot defense. They did a great job as well. And certainly Dave Retcher and Logan Wolfram deserve a lot of credit. Some of the in-game adjustments they made. You talked about Casey Agler having 12 points at halftime. They held him to 2. But his teammates really picked up the slack there in clutch free throw shooting, put them over the edge. Unfortunately for the Pilots, their 5th consecutive single-digit loss, and it comes by an average of 4 points during those 5 games. That could easily be a 5-0 win streak instead of the reverse.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will have our Steichman Automotive Player of the Game. We'll put a wrap on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports. Back to put the finishing touches on your Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Fantastic ball game tonight out of the GMC, but in it, the visitors come away just a little bit more offense in the closing 8 minutes, and in particular, 7 of 8 from the free throw line in the final 2 minutes. It all leads to a 44-37 win, Paulding over Ayersville. We have one last piece of business before we go ahead and put a bow on this broadcast tonight. Time for our Steichman Automotive Player of the Game. Look, you could pick a number of different players, but Scoop, even though he went down in a blaze of glory tonight, what a game for Carter Michael. We had him for a double-double, 23 points, and I think you had him unofficially for 14 boards.
Yeah, just incredible. I don't remember a time giving player of the game to a guy on a losing team, but Carter Michael, my goodness, he did everything here tonight. You know, not only those 23 points, but 23 points on a night where we knew the points were going to be a premium, 23 out of 37, and then he was just a force on the boards. Paulding had absolutely no answer for that young man all night long, but the Panthers, as they've done so many times this year, they've hung their hats at the defensive end. But what a performance for Carter Michael. He really was a force at both ends, very deserving of this honor here tonight.
So with the win, the Panthers again go to 10-6 overall, a game above 500 in the GMC at 3-2. The Pilots, their 5th straight loss by single digits. They fall to 6-11 and 2-4 respectively. Our next broadcast will be Saturday. It is a girl-boy varsity doubleheader from the Dog Pound, as the Defiance girls will start us off at 1. The boys are scheduled for a 6 o'clock tip-off. Scoop will be alongside me again. We hope that you will join us. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. Big thank you going out to our entire crew doing more than yeoman's work this evening. Big thank you going out to our underwriters. I say it every night, but folks, if you enjoy these broadcasts, if you enjoy what we are able to do to bring you coverage of area high school sports, it is because of them. Walk through those businesses' stores, patronize those businesses, and let them know how much that you appreciate it. We appreciate you, the fan, for tuning in. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. Final score in the second half of our doubleheader here tonight. The Ayersville boys fall to Paulding by a final of 44-37. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.